With the first pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Caleb Williams, quarterback, Southern California.
Actually thinking about doing fish and spaghetti.
Who's dancing?
Perfect way to start the segment with some fish and spaghetti.
I know you guys are dancing right now. Jason Atmos, Doug Van Dorn, Scottish Bear, Creighton Wilfong. I know you're dancing right now. Come on.
Lester.
The question is whether or not Charles Johnson.
I bet you're dancing.
PJ loves a Johnson
too.
Not as much as Karl.
We're 90 seconds into the show, PJ. Let's try and get through the first 15 minutes here for Mr. Moneybags.
The fact that you guys are here and chat with us tonight while there's a presidential train wreck going on right now is debate is it's awesome.
Debatable.
We appreciate you. We know we're not going to see Cliff Victoria for a while. He'll show up later on when the debate's over. But cheers to all you guys in chat tonight. Thank you for hanging out with us. Just getting through another week with you guys.
Is a debate going on here? I gotta go.
PJ, it's debatable that there's a debate, if that's what we can call it.
More like a train wreck. Yeah.
I like train wreck.
It looks like we're down to Foster for the moment. Hopefully he does.
Roshi.
Karl, are you one of those guys who when there's a car accident, you like driving by and you like?
Yeah, I add to it. I crash into the crash, yes.
Well, you're the guy that when you're driving on the expressway and it's just a straight road for 180 miles and all of a sudden you come to a dead stop and then you pass a car flipped over off the road on the side and you're the guy that has to slow down to look at it, that causes me 3 miles back to be sitting in a parking lot. I get it. And then I get to that train wreck and I do the same fucking thing. I promised myself I wouldn't do that. I do the same thing, and I'm like, damn, now I'm that asshole. So I get it. We like train wrecks, right?
No, I don't. I really don't. I really don't.
You gotta look at them at the very least.
No,
you put them on TikTok.
Like them,
I don't know.
Watching them happen in real time is like, ooh, ow.
No, it's really not. No,
in real time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're seeing accident real time.
Yeah, seeing
that's
a little bit.
Dash cam is for.
No, I seen too many. That's no.
Oh yeah, you have.
You have.
You have seen way too many train wrecks in real time.
No.
What's up, Mr. Mayhem? Bear down. So yeah, tonight is a presidential debate. Cliff Victoria was like, "You're going up against the presidential debates? Yikes!" And I was like, "Yeah,
same audience, right?"
But we're taking off next week. Well, I am taking off next week. You guys can decide if you want to do the show without me. You're welcome to. But I'm on vacation next week. It's going to be 4th of July. Who's going to be watching us while they're doing fireworks or watching fireworks? So definitely didn't want to take off 2 weeks in a row. So here we are, and we thank all you guys for hanging out with us tonight, man. Thank you. We're going to have a little bit of
fun. Guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. It's always a good time when you guys in the chat. For those in the chat.
Every week in this time of year, it becomes harder and harder to figure out something to talk about, right? Because you see what everyone else is talking about. You don't want to replicate that. You want to talk about something that's new and different to engage the audience in that. And I think tonight is kind of interesting. Karl's idea for coming up with this, so kudos to you. Thank you. And we're going to be kind of breaking down the teams that we have to get through, kind of getting through the divisions and who are going to be leading the divisions and the teams that we're going to have to get through in our schedule to be able to make the playoffs, because collectively we called actually 13-4, because was it 13-4?
12-5. Good.
Okay, so it is 12-5, but I called 13-4, and that in that world we win the Super Bowl for the first time with a rookie quarterback. It's possible. It can happen. One day it's going to happen. It's going to be with the Bears this year. So we'll figure out how we can get there. And it might be a good exercise in if we were right or wrong in our predictions for collectively, individually,
Yeah,
I can say.
this is like the perfect time, right? Because that's one of the things that me and Nick did on one of our last videos, was struggling for things to come up with. So I thought, okay, what did we do last year? And it's a really nice thing to kind of compare what we think before the season. Obviously, we'll be doing a lot during the season, and then at the end of the season, were we right or wrong?
I may not always be right, but I'm never wrong.
I was waiting for something there.
I thought you were going to say I'm never left. Oh, just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Karl, let me remind everyone that we are brought to you by BetUS, every sports bettor's favorite sports book. They have exceptional perks and great service. Use the link in the description to get a 125% sign-up bonus and place your sports bets with BetUS. That's bit.ly/BearsCountryPodcast-BetUS. And also, download the PSF app. Download it right now. Right now. Get into the Bears chat. Come hang out with us.
And if you're going to bet, please bet responsibly. We're not encouraging you to bet. We just want you to bet responsibly if you do, because not all of us bet.
Thank you, PJ. Myself included. Does not bet.
Myself included. They gave us like free money to try it out with, and I still haven't even gone into there yet. I'm like, I keep getting asked, did you try it out? Like, I keep forgetting. I'm so sorry. But don't you forget, download the app right now, find the Bears chat, get in there, hang out with Lester and I. There's other podcasters that do things with other journalists, other games, I should say. We don't do every game together, Lester and I, but we do at least 7. So make sure you download that and check it out. We would really appreciate that. You'll help support not only PSF, which is an upcoming app that we are a part of, but you'll also help to support, BCP even more with that. So because it's a hand-in-hand thing with us.
And Tooch, if you're out there, I just want you to know, use BetUS, because I know you bet.
Oh, we know Tooch bets.
Oh man, we know he does.
Tooch is a betting man.
BetUS is not an up-and-coming sports book, are they?
No, but PSF is an up-and-coming app for sports fans. They have every single sport, every single team you can follow. If you're a Bears fan, but you're a Phillies fan, you can find the Phillies app and become a part of that. And then when Lester and I do our games together, you can hop in with us while we're watching the game live and talk with us, and then just pop out. You don't have to show your video. It can just be audio, or you can show both. And then the point is to not, be there too. Just be in for like 5 minutes and leave, and then somebody else can come in and then we're hanging out together. It's pretty fun. We had a lot of fun with it last year.
I just want to say, Jason, with the super chat, he says he's a punter from down under, where the beer flows in men chunder.
Good old Tory Taylor, a blue chip prospect at the punter position.
Jason, thank you so much for your super chat.
Thank you so much, Jason, for the super chat.
I'm starting to think Jason is a blue chip member of this chat.
Yes, he's been helping us out a lot. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
2 or 3 weeks in a row. Yes, absolutely, Jason.
Appreciate the donation, my man.
Charles Johnson is saying I can't find the app, Shorty.
Charles, what platform are you on? Are you referring to like the mobile app or?
Here, I'll type in pro sports fanatics or pro sports fans. That should take you to the link. Let me just do it right now myself to confirm it.
So if you're on mobile, Charles Johnson, all you have to do is type in PSF, Pro Sports Fans, and this is what I'm getting on my iPhone. I know there's a little bit of a glare, but it definitely is one of the more up there apps, so it's not too crazy hard to find, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's right there.
Just don't dox yourself, Shorty.
PSF, Pro Sports Fans.
Good man, good man.
Yeah. And then once you're on there, you sign up and you find the Bears chat room. There's also a Bears Country Podcast chat room. You can create your own if you want. And the betting that they've introduced to it is peer to peer, so it's not like you're betting your buddy, $10 that so and so is gonna pass for more yards than so and so, but they have a list of things you can choose from. You can create your own bet, and it's peer to peer. So you bet $10 that freaking Caleb Williams is going to have more passing yards than Jordan Love in that game, and then anyone else can pick up that bet, and then now you bet so and so $10 on that, and then you win the whole $10. I don't even think they take any money from you at this point, so you win that $10. So we're trying to build this because it literally just came out last year, and we're trying to make it this fan-friendly app where everyone can conglomerate, come together, and be a part of it. They can now bet money, and it helps to support us. So we appreciate you if you do that. So thank you if you do.
My comment regarding BetUS, if they were an up-and-coming sportsbook, was just simply because I have a suspicion / have been told that the legend Tooch, very good at what he does, which is bad.
Yes.
So don't want to have him put BetUS out of business or anything like that. So just out of respect to everyone.
Well said. So getting into the Bears. We talked about, we're 12-5 here in our records. Getting into the Bears. Our record prediction right over here. Collectively, all five of us on a panel came up with this. So how do we get there? That's the question, right?
Yes.
No? Yes? No?
It is the question. So are we ready to get into it, or do you guys want to say hello to the chat first?
Well, we can get back into chat, yeah.
Okay. I have a feeling that with the chat members we have today, we're going to be speaking to essentially everyone. So I'm definitely okay with just rolling right along if you guys are cool with it too. So
yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah.
The idea tonight, everyone, was essentially, if you guys have ever heard of a tier maker list, we're able to go ahead and dynamically assign teams as to where we want them. So in this perfect example, this has no flaws whatsoever. The Bears are a Super Bowl favorite. The Chiefs, of course, the Super Bowl winner this past year, are mediocre at best. And the Packers will be number one pick contention. Obviously, not true. But we can start and assign each team. I don't know if it'd be easier to start with, I'm thinking we start with the Bears, come up where we want to put them on according to these tiers. And then moving forward, we can either go NFC North, entire NFC, or miss the AFC or NFC altogether and go AFC first, however you guys want to handle it. But after we started with the Bears, we can end with the Bears and compare kind of our thoughts at the end. That said, starting with the Bears, it sounds like at least myself and Shorty consider the Bears to be a playoff team, but PJ thinks that the Bears could potentially miss out on the playoffs altogether. So in my opinion, the most fair thing to start with is for the Bears to be a potential wildcard team.
Okay.
Do you guys have any issues with that?
I do not. Do you, PJ?
No, sir.
So you have them what? 9-8, 8-9?
Yeah, somewhere around there. I forget which.
8-9.
8-9.
I'll go through the rundown real quick. Mr. PJ himself had the Bears as a losing team this upcoming year at 8-9. I don't even remember what the Bears were this past year. I feel like they were 7-10 or something.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
So that drastic of an improvement for only one more win, that's not how we did it. We went through the nitty-gritty on that episode. We went through each game as a collective. There's a lot more positivity aside from PJ. Shocker. Shorty on the flip side of the coin has the Bears at 13-4, and collective the panel came up with a 12-5 record. So, I don't know. I still think that the most fair thing to do in this exercise is to have the Bears as a potential wildcard team, considering how improved this football roster is.
Where would we end up if we started with a missing playoff team? If we went the lowest on the poll, where PJ suggested 8-9, which would be not making the playoffs. Is there still a possibility of making the playoffs in this scenario?
Well, this is just what we think is going to happen throughout and at the end of the NFL season.
Collectively, they're at least going to make the playoffs.
Right, but there's some, and literally the Bears had a top 10 pick this past year, so to go from that to potentially a playoff team is a huge improvement in my opinion. Obviously, we have some other people on the panel currently who think Super Bowl or bust. But I don't know. I think that having them as a potential wildcard team is a good starting point, and we can bump them up or down depending on what we view the rest of the NFL as. I don't know how nitty-gritty we want to have it as well, because how many playoff teams are there at the end of everything? Because it's 7 seeds now, right?
Right.
So there would be 14 playoff teams.
Correct.
So you probably would want to go down to 13 or 12 in the top 3 rows combined between the favorites, the contenders, and the playoff teams.
But wouldn't you have to
be more or less potential wildcard teams?
Wouldn't you have to have that conference specific though?
At the end of it, yes, it could get pretty awkward, but we'll see how nitty gritty we want to go.
Okay.
Again, we want to be a little bit chat centric today. For my money, no one in chat is telling us that we're wrong or believes that we are wrong as far as where the Bears can be.
No one in chat knows exactly what we're talking about either.
Mr. Mo Bierman thinks that Shorty was sniffing glue that day, which
Mo
Bierman is a seasoned veteran. I remember someone asking if they were down with PCP, but I can't remember what episode that was.
It was actually it was Brian Gilmore. He said, "You down with PCP?" I kept trying to conglomerate everyone's voices together into one, and all I could hear was him saying PCP, and I kept having to lower the volume on him so you couldn't hear it.
Welcome in, New Breed.
Did you see what was that Scottish Bear said?
This comment right here?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Karl. I'm sorry.
No worries. Is this what you're referring to, PJ?
Yeah.
Well, do you guys feel more comfortable with that? We could even do a chat one. I mean, I don't know how long we want this episode to go, but I could get through this pretty quick. I could definitely get through this in about 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
I had a feeling that we might appreciate more of a collective effort and maybe include...
It's more debatable.
We're divided.
It brings up more debate when you do the collective one. That gives more discussion, I should say. So yeah, the collective, I guess.
I'm thinking that I don't want to say I want to take a back seat, but I think that I can help give my opinion, but I'll try and keep my eye on chat as far as maybe what team we go. So I'll let you guys drive. Do we want to go right into where we rank the NFC North and then ultimately the rest of the NFC before we flip to AFC? Or do we want to stay away from the NFC to begin with?
That's a good question.
And what do you guys? Doesn't matter.
I'd like to know what you and chat think. Do you guys want to go around the horn first, finish with the Bears? You want to just blow your load on the Bears, then go around the horn? I'd kind of like to not blow my load on the Bears to begin with.
Well,
you're a veteran of doing that.
Brewhouse 7 does predict that the Bears will go 10-7. Steve Phillips says that the Bears will go 11-6.
Yeah, so if we're taking chat's consideration, that's 4 or 5 people who are essentially saying a winning record,
right?
Which the NFC could be sneaky good this year.
It's going to be.
So the Bears could finish at 9-8 and miss the playoffs. So that could still be a potential wildcard team depending on how things shake out. So again, it all keeps going towards me liking this potential wildcard spot for the Bears. New Breed. I'm a big fan of New Breed, but this comment here, I don't know, buddy.
He did say LOL, so we got to give him credit. He did say LOL.
There you go. Hey, this is a new commenter, Geeky Bear, or at least new to me. I'm
Me
not sure if
too.
he's new to BCP.
I've never seen Geeky Bear or Andrew. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Gentlemen,
We appreciate you.
do we see what Andrew has on his profile picture?
X.
That's the Twitter logo. Shout out Twitter.
Yes.
I remember one of our most recent episodes we had.
No, he's chatting from Twitter, I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
But
what I was going
it's
to
actually
say,
showing up though.
do you remember one of our most recent episodes we had
Yes.
just oodles
Right.
and oodles of viewers, but no comments from Twitter?
X,
So
yeah.
that's exciting. Yeah, thank you.
It is, yes. Thank you.
And Andrew does say 9-8. Scottish Bear says 11-6.
Steve Phillips says 11-6.
I
Brewhawk
got you.
10-7. Okay, so let's just quickly, if we can get through the rest of the league, I would like to do that first, and then that'll kind of predict who we're going to have to beat, right? Essentially.
Okay.
I was just saying, like, collectively ranking the NFL, how they, what we could do is take our collective rankings and compare that to this. So that's totally fine by me. The prediction at the end to see, if that looks plausible. So,
Okay.
of course, New Breed would point out that he doesn't want his star child, DeAndre Swift, to be injured.
I
Smart
do
man,
worry
smart man.
about that, but we'll see what happens this year. He had near an injury last year and played well, so I'm hoping for the same thing. My goodness.
Okay, gentlemen, I'm going to start driving. I'm going to say let's stick to the NFC North. Then we'll go the other divisions in the NFC, and then we'll flip to the AFC. And if chat, I'll try and keep my close eye on you. If you have a very strong opinion about a team as to where they're going to be ranked, let us hear it. Especially Andrew, thanks again for the Twitter viewership. If you guys are on Twitter, feel free to participate as well.
Appreciate you
Yes.
if you're on Twitter. Thank you.
So let's go and let's make fun of New Breed here. The Lions. I don't think they're a Super Bowl favorite. They just almost went to the Super Bowl, though. How do you guys view the Lions this year? And if, they've got to be at least a playoff team, right?
I actually consider them to be a Super Bowl contender.
I think that is very fair.
The Lions? Okay, I do too.
I really don't think there's much debate. I just said they came off of an NFC championship game loss. Very easily could have gone to the Super Bowl. So
can you stack two teams of the same division in that category?
yeah, you can do whatever you want, man. The idea is just to take each team and rank them by where we think they deserve to be. I think it would be asinine to have the Lions ranked as the number one pick contender. And I don't know if there's a Super Bowl contender. A favorite, I'm sorry. But a contender, why not?
They are a contender. It would take
Not a playoff contender, Super Bowl contender.
correct. They were
they're
last
legit.
year. Why wouldn't they be this year? Though they're not going to step it down a notch.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they did pretty well in the draft, right? Didn't they do pretty well in the draft?
I know last year the whole NFL made fun of the Lions. The whole offseason last year was, how do you draft a running back that high? That tight end's garbage. That linebacker sucks. Blah, blah, blah. Look what happened.
I'm not going to lie to you. I was one of the ones who did not like the Lions drafting that linebacker in the first round.
Linebacker was whatever. I was very, very, very harsh on Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh, I thought he was going to be great anyway. So yeah, I didn't understand why they did it after getting money though. Yeah,
I remember hearing mock drafts of Jahmyr Gibbs being a potential target for the Bears in the second round, early in the second round. That's how bad I thought the pick was, and obviously look how that turned out. He's literally probably a top 10 back in the NFL.
Well, I see that. Who was that? Geeky Bear. He said Geeky Bear says they drafted a corner, being the Lions, because the Bears are stacked at wide receiver. So yeah, I think I mean, I'm not ashamed, or I shouldn't say I'm not ashamed, but I don't mind admitting that when the Lions hired Dan Campbell, I kind of question it, but I got to give the Lions their props. I mean, I got to give props where props is due. So he has done a good job.
When he said, we're going to bite your kneecaps off, he had me. He had me at bite your kneecaps. I was like, damn it, that's my coach. So I've been jealous of him ever since New Breed. So I'm happy to see that you guys have gotten as far as you have. You know, the Lions have kind of been in the same position. It's almost like we've all just hated the Packers, and then, you know, the Lions and the Bears have hated the Vikings a little bit more, and each other a little bit less. And so
Right.
I've always kind of had a soft spot in my heart that they actually made the playoffs and were a Super Bowl contender. Not, of course, it was because we weren't. I don't want to be doing this every year and, you know, losing our games, our important games to the Lions when we are Super Bowl contenders. But I'm happy for you when you had your moment. I just wonder how long it can last, because as well as Goff has played, his numbers show it. I mean, he's had better passing yards as a quarterback than
Yes.
any Bears quarterback has ever had. What's up, Eduardo Isaac Rodriguez? Thanks for joining us.
Eduardo.
But, you know, I don't know how long they can sustain it. Once you become the target, you really have to, you know, step up your game, like the Chiefs have year in, year out, being the target. You know what I mean? So they're the target, one of the targets of the NFC right now. I think the Packers are too. I'm curious to know where we're going to rank the Packers in this category. Are they Super Bowl contenders based on last year? They were one game away.
We can go right into that if you'd like. I just wanted to quickly recap the picks from the Lions. Similar to the Packers, who also loaded up on their defensive secondary. Great comment from Scottish Bear here. The Lions, rather, they traded up to select Terrion Arnold, who I believe was one of the higher-ranked cornerbacks in this draft. They got him at pick 24 out of Alabama. They sent another cornerback, who I will not say the last name from because I cannot pronounce it, out of Missouri with pick 61. They took a tackle at pick 126 in the 4th round, and then they took our Mike Brown comp. I can't pronounce the name. Sione Vaki out of Utah, safety. He was a 4th round pick. He might play safety for them, but he's ultimately probably going to do special teams, to my understanding. So yes, along with the offseason acquisition of DJ Reader, the Lions are definitely in prime contention to go make another deep playoff run.
Both the Lions and the Packers went heavy in the secondary this year because we feel that fear coming on, right?
That's exactly what it was. It felt like the Bears created essentially an arms race to catch the ball or stop the player from catching the ball, in my humble opinion. So let's just snowball right into the Packers. I don't think the Packers are on the same level as the Lions. I would think that the Lions are better, but I don't know if the Bears are as good as the Packers, just to be blunt. We haven't seen Caleb Williams throw a football yet. I think the fair ranking is to have the Packers as a playoff team.
I disagree. I think they're more of a potential wild card like us because now that teams have film on Jordan Love, they can perhaps adjust, and we'll see from there. So I'm not totally sold on him.
I want to pause you, PJ. I want you to directly react to New Breed Sports' comment here. He says that he feels that the Packers have the best wide receiver core in the division, hands down.
Who do they have?
That's my exact reaction.
Christensen, was it Christensen?
I came up with a graphic that I could share with you guys. I don't know how interested you are in seeing it, but it was
Christian
something
Watson.
it was something I was toying around. I might see if I can get it on screen for you guys.
Who's that other little spark plug that they have?
Is it Dobbs?
Rome, not Rome, but
Jaden Reed?
no. Is it
Spark plug?
that little spark plug that they inserted against us? And
Watson, Dobbs, Reed, Bo Milton.
no.
Yeah.
Is it Dobbs? What's Dobbs' first name?
Romeo.
Romeo. Thank you, Romeo Dobbs. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the Packers, or I don't see them as a lock as a playoff team, though. I just don't.
I don't think I can zoom in on this anymore, so I don't think that this is primed and ready to go. But essentially, if you look at how these players were acquired, the Packers got Bo Melton off of the Seattle Seahawks practice squad, and the rest of it were all their draft picks. I thought that was insane.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Packers draft. They don't.
Yes.
They don't sign free agents.
Yes.
Well, look at what the money those wide receivers are getting now. So that's the only way to go. And that's, again, another indicator that the Bears know what they're doing because they signed and traded. Sorry, they traded for Keenan Allen, and a lot of Bears GMs would say, okay, we're gone, we're good. Nope, let's take Rome Odunze at the 9th overall pick. So, I'll throw it back to chat. I don't know if we think that the Packers are better or on the same playing field as the Bears, but
We've got some newbies in chat too. Again, Jason Toy, Bear Me, thanks for joining us. Jay Grizz, great to see you again.
Jay Grizz?
Grizzly Bear. So, per you guys in chat, so far we're ranking these 3 NFC North teams as Super Bowl contenders, playoff team, and potential wild card teams. Where do you guys feel that these 3, where they fall in line here? Is this correct? Do you have the Bears above the Packers, the Bears above the Lions, vice versa? I'd love to know your thoughts. Like, hit it up there in chat really quick. What's your order of these 3?
The caveat here is that we're not, this isn't a top 32 top to bottom. We're ranking them on tiers. So
Right.
You could think that the Packers are better than the Bears, but they could both be potential wildcard teams.
Right. And that's what exactly is my thinking. It's like, although I have the Bears predicted at 8 and 9, Packers may be 9 and 8. So it's still potential wild cards.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to consider the Packers a potential wildcard team in the same sentiment, right, that the quarterback has to regress because he started terrible. Jordan Love was just flat out bad to start the year. And then what happened? I thought he was a bust, and he just turned it on. He ended up, passing for more yards this year than a Bears quarterback ever has in franchise history. Jeez. So you could think it was a fluke, but I don't know if it is. But
well, I think the key to the Packers, honestly, is their coaching. I think he's just a phenomenal coach. I rank him up in top 5 coaches. So that's the
top 5 overall.
I mean, top 5 over, in the league, yes.
In the current NFL,
yes. In the current NFL, yes.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I think that LaFleur is a great head coach.
What pisses me off about that is that I thought he was that way because of Aaron Rodgers.
Right. That's why I thought
you did. Of course you did. Yep.
Then he goes and pulls out a season like, Jordan Love didn't look like super spectacular last year, but damn it, he had the best season of any Bears quarterback. He had a better season than Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre's first season as a quarterback for the Packers. So that doesn't give me any hope.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I don't know. Me and my girlfriend, I'm a Bears fan. She's a Vikings fan, and we hate the Packers. But it feels like New Breed Sports here has got something going on where he is okay with the Packers, but not the Bears. I don't know. I don't like this comment. He thinks that they should have beat the Niners. I think that the only reason the game was any somewhat close was because of Aaron Jones, and he's on your Vikings now. So.
New Breed. The Packers just lose to the Lions, man. The Niners. They lose to the Niners and the Cowboys.
The Packers?
Yeah.
No, I mean.
Well, they beat the Cowboys.
They
with
did
Favre.
unspeakable things to the Cowboys this year.
But they love to lose to the Niners.
Yes.
The Bears like to beat the Cowboys and lose to the Niners as well. I'll always be nervous against the Niners in the playoffs, no matter how I break it down. It's just Niners PTSD.
So what's your vote there, Shorty, on where the Packers are?
I'm going to say, well, if I'm basing this on my own expectations for the Bears this year, I'm going to say potential wild card team.
The Packers?
Mm-hmm.
That's what PJ thinks, so I'm okay with moving them.
Okay, 2 out of 3.
What do you guys in the chat? What do you guys in the chat think?
Yeah, chat. Tell us if we're wrong. What I'll do too, we can very quickly decide if the team is better or not. I think we think that the Packers are better than the Bears today without seeing Caleb Williams throw a pass. So I'll keep the better teams to the left, if that makes sense.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
All right, boys. I think that we're going to go ahead and start talking about the Vikings. Again, chat, I'll do my best to try and stay on top of everything if you guys think we're wrong. The Vikings, they just lost a pretty good quarterback, in my opinion. I don't know if we would consider them mediocre because they just signed the best wide receiver in football. For my money, I would have the Vikings as an okay team that is missing the playoffs.
What's mediocre?
Top 10 pick.
Oh, okay.
JJ McCarthy was the quarterback that I wanted when I assumed that the Bears were going to trade the pick and
in the second round
and trade down and then still take a quarterback. I was praying it was going to be for McCarthy because anyone that knows me, knows the show, knows that I refused to believe until that last second when he actually announced Caleb Williams as the first pick that the Bears were not going to trade it. I couldn't go out and play the lottery and expect I was going to and make all the plans for being a billionaire and then wake up the next morning and none of my numbers matched. So I had to fool myself into believing that he wasn't going to be a Bear. So my next quarterback was JJ McCarthy. So I am a little bit worried that Minnesota has him. Mr. Mayhem saying that McCarthy is trash. I think he's the second best quarterback in the draft, personally. And you never know. I mean, the draft always has these shining stars that don't turn out to be anything in the NFL. But just in my opinion, I think that he was the second best quarterback. I could be damn wrong. So I'm a little bit worried about Minnesota having it.
Emily Rose is saying Vikings are making the playoffs this year, boys. Don't you fret.
PJ, who is that Emily Rose? Do you know who that is?
I do not.
Well, Emily Rose.
I know who that is.
Thank you for joining us. Oh,
I am
your girlfriend?
I could have her walk on camera right now if I wanted to.
Well, hello, Emily Rose.
Well, hello, Emily. Thanks for joining us.
Is that her sticking her hand out to get proposed to?
Oh yeah, join the crowd on that one. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Don't let him interrogate you, Karl.
I've got my beating stick. I'm prepared, man.
My interrogation days are over.
I'm scared of no PJs.
My interrogation days are over. I got rid of the phone book.
So Mayhem saying Minnesota will be last in the division. Guys, do you guys think that this is accurate as far as the NFC North? Are the Lions going to win the division?
I mean, I think that this is spot on.
Geeky Bear says the Lions slot is Lions one slot lower. RD destroyed their line last year, and they didn't get better there. So otherwise, I agree.
It's going to be a little annoying because I won't be able to have the teams on deck on screen here, but hopefully you guys can see better exactly the tiers. Mm-hmm. I don't think that the Lions are a playoff team. I think that the Lions are a Super Bowl contender. That said, we think the Packers are better than the Bears.
Hold on. Last year, we almost beat them twice.
Mm-hmm.
And if we do end up getting better quarterback play, combined with the additional weapons and the defense is that much better, couldn't we realistically beat them twice?
No, so absolutely could.
We could sit here and debate this for hours.
It's not. Yeah, it's not about are the Bears going to be better than the Lions? The Bears could beat the Lions twice and still get a top 10 pick. It's just the matchups. Yeah. So I was thinking more. Let's go through and rank the teams how we see them from afar, from a non-Lions fan, Packers fan lens. We obviously have some experience, and at the end we can go back and see if the Bears should be higher or lower based on what we come up with.
And New Breed Lions fan is saying he thinks the Packers are going to win the division. He says the Lions will win the division by 2 games over the Packers. So he's kind of agreeing with you as far as...
How does that shape up? So in that situation, it'd be the Lions win, 13 games again? And the Packers would still be a playoff team? I don't know.
The Packers win 11 games. That means they're beating us twice.
I think it may come down to... us having a last place schedule and the Packers having a second place schedule, so that may give us a chance to have more wins than they do eventually. But based on pure talent itself or coaching, the Packers may be ahead of us right now. But as far as the Vikings, I mean, I was teetering between missing the playoffs and being a mediocre team, but I have to take in consideration Flores in this defense. He has a heck of a defense.
I was going to make a coaching comment, and I agree with you, PJ. Flores is great, But I also think that the Vikings head coach, I am forgetting his name already. I just
O'Donnell?
for a second.
Is it O'Donnell?
Yeah.
McConnell, O'Donnell, something like that. I think he's a great head coach too.
I do. I agree with you on that.
So
I wouldn't say great. I would say good.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's fair.
He's gotten the best out of Kirk Cousins.
Well, I don't know. I think Kirk Cousins is just a guy who has a certain. I mean, he's reminding me of one of those sneaky good quarterbacks.
Yeah,
you don't
definitely.
expect him to be that guy, and he surprises you. So, but he has gotten out of him. I wouldn't say surprisingly, because again, Kirk Cousins I think is pretty good. That's why he's always got all that money.
Well, he's sneakingly good, like you said, because he's a high noon quarterback. You put him in the primetime games, he's 20% at best. But he'll beat you 80% on a high noon game. He folds under pressure. He thinks too much. He's so cerebral, and he just thinks too much. That's my opinion of him.
Remind me of somebody else I know.
No shit.
I like this comment from New Breed. So I guess again, the rankings don't indicate exactly how good they are. You could have a young but intriguing team that maybe is even better than a team that's obviously missing the playoffs. And New Breed's thinking that they could be young and intriguing. I think the question on that hinges on how early does McCarthy start. Because if he earns the starting job coming out of camp and he's their day one starter and is starting all 17 games, then I'd consider them a young but intriguing team. But everything that I've heard, unfortunately, is that McCarthy is not as high up on the totem pole as Sam Darnold. And I think that Sam Darnold will essentially almost get half the season. So I don't want to consider them young. They've got a young quarterback. But I think that they're a team that's essentially going to try for the playoffs because their roster just needs them to, but they're not good enough to make it.
I don't know. I think Sam Darnold may surprise us this year. He may be he's one of my picks to be comeback player of the year.
New Breed, what's your beef with the University of Michigan, man? You call him McCheater? I'm not a fan of that at all, but to each their own. We still got the ring. I should get a fake little ring and say it's the national championship ring.
You're from Michigan, dude. That's your college team, right?
So the story behind that is
probably
that
Michigan State fan.
My grandparents spend the majority of their life, and my grandma still lives in Michigan. My grandpa was a huge fan of the University of Michigan because, especially back then, they weren't getting walloped by the, Ohio State Buckeyes.
Oh,
Michigan State fan. Yeah. But my dad actually got accepted to the University of Michigan. So my route in life has only gone essentially through junior college. So I claim the University of Michigan, not as the school that I went to, but as the football team. That's the team that I'll root for. That said, I'm thinking let's move on to the next division.
So
I'm thinking this is solid enough. So let's keep it the NFC and let's go NFC East. I think that the Eagles are an interesting team that we can talk about because they lost a huge leader with their center. They signed a very high-priced running back in Saquon Barkley, whose health will be in flux, in my opinion. But do we think that the Eagles are a definite playoff team? Do we think they're a team that could straight up miss the playoffs? Or do we think they're a potential wildcard team or something else? What do you guys think?
Playoff team.
Just straight up?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
They just have so much talent, man. They just have so much talent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're the Georgia in the NFL, so yeah.
Georgia NFL, I like it. I don't know, man. I think that they retooled their secondary because they needed to. They lost their safety, Kevin Byard, to the Bears in free agency, but they went ahead and drafted 2 cornerbacks, actually. I think they drafted the white cornerback, Cooper DeJean, out of Iowa, and then ended up also getting a player from Georgia, I believe. Or maybe it was Alabama. I don't know who got Kool-Aid McKinstry. But I don't know. I think when you compare them to the rest of their division, and with the Cowboys essentially not doing anything in the offseason, I think that the Eagles could be considered a playoff team because of a weaker division. As wild as that may sound. The NFC East has been good for a little bit.
Hold on, I have to show Jason Toy my tattoo.
Had to do it to him.
Look at that.
Had to do it to him.
I know the colors are wrong, but they didn't have the right blue at the time. Thinking about getting it redone. See if you have the right blue this time. This was 20 years ago.
That was kind of hurting my eyes there. Golly. Man.
Are you picking on my whiteness?
Are you picking on PJ Suntan?
I was earlier.
So I need to retract my statement. The Eagles ended up selecting Kenyon Mitchell, who was actually one of the other cornerbacks who is very highly rated. They got him at 22nd overall and paired that with Cooper DeJean at 40th overall. So they really, speaking of the arms race, they needed to do anything and everything they could to try and guard my fantasy football superstar. I can't think of number 88's name for the Cowboys right now.
Michael Irvin?
Lamb?
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb, thank you. Not Michael Irvin. I did not have him in fantasy. He would have got me 0 points. But yes, thank you, PJ. Yeah, I agree. New breed, the tat is fire.
So we're at the Cowboys?
Yeah, let's go into the Cowboys because I can't find any evidence in chat that thinks that the Eagles are not a playoff team. And again, I said my case on that already. So Cowboys.
Cowboys are our potential wild card team.
Agreed.
Better than the Bears, better than the Cowboys. Does it matter?
Better than the Bears.
But not the Cowboys because they just lost to them by 50 points and didn't do anything in the playoff in the offseason.
No. Not better than the Bears.
No?
Oh, okay.
No. Not in my opinion.
Well,
CD scam.
What do you guys in the chat think? Do you think the Cowboys are better than the Bears?
I like this comment from Scottish Bear. He says that the Cowboys are going to be trash because Dan Quinn was that team.
Mm-hmm.
Chat, PJ, I almost said Foster. Can you guys remind me, where did Dan Quinn end up? Is he a head
coach of Washington?
He is the head coach of Washington?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a good segue into Washington then, which is a weird head coaching pairing in my opinion. But I agree. I think that Dan Quinn was a great... Oh, there's a cat outside. Give me just 1 second, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering who is the new defensive coordinator. Do you know, Shorty?
Oh, no, I do not. Their offensive coordinator is was it Kingsbury?
It's not Kingsbury. Oh, Washington, yes. Kingsbury was hired
Who's their
by
defensive
Washington.
coordinator
Who's the defensive coordinator?
of Washington?
It's essentially Dan Quinn, right? He's going to bring in his assistants and teach them how to run his defense, but I'd call it Dan Quinn. Just like how the defensive coordinator, the title is Eric Washington for the Bears, but he is not their defensive coordinator.
I was asking who was the defensive coordinators for the Cowboys now.
I thought so as well.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant Washington. No idea.
I can try and look it up real quick. I have no idea.
So can I. DC of Cowboys.
It's Mike Zimmer. Whoa, that's cool.
That's a okay.
I wonder how Miss Emily Rose feels about that. Mike Zimmer's back in the flesh, everyone. Wow. I don't know.
I like Mike Zimmer.
I don't know, man. Just from this is why I like doing these things because we'll have this soundbite back at this time next year. The Cowboys defense has been great, very opportunistic. Reminds me of the old Bears teams that always preached turning their turnovers into touchdowns. That defensive coordinator, who's now the head coach, Dan Quinn of the Commanders, he was very kind of like spirited and kind of like a cool dude, It almost reminds me a little bit of Shorty. But now Mike Zimmer's very old school, shut your mouth, do your job, more like a Belichick. I wonder how that defense reacts to that because they have the exact same personnel.
Well, I know he has a defensive background, so I expect the defensive backs to be able to perhaps be better under him.
I don't know. You make a good point, Karl. It's essentially Dan Quinn. He had a lot of hybrid in that. So what's Zimmer going to add to that? Is he going to be too structured, and is he going to lose his team a little bit, maybe quicker than I don't know, but he's still a really good freaking defensive coordinator. So
do not get it twisted. I'm going to remove the comment so you can see my lips saying this. Mike Zimmer is a great coach. Period.
Yes.
He's going to be a great defensive coordinator.
Yes.
But will his attitude mesh with the Cowboys locker room? Is a very good
question. Based on Dan Quinn's previous, it might take a year or two. So that's why I would have them ranked below the Bears.
And they really just took a step back. They didn't do anything. And like I mentioned, CeeDee Lamb, he had a great season. Dak Prescott had a great season. Are these guys going to improve on that somehow? I don't know. I'm starting to think that a potential wild card ranking for the Cowboys and essentially being worse than the Bears is kind of fair at this point, at least.
I think Scottish Bear says he's not Dan Quinn. Mike Zim been out the league for 3 years, which is a very valid point. And then
look at what happened with their head coach, Mike McCarthy. It was the same thing. He was sitting at home for a little bit before they picked him up. It's Jerry's world, and they're just living in it over there. So I am not jealous of the Cowboys, not one iota.
Mo Bierman seems to think that they may be more disciplined, which that's what I was actually leaning towards, thinking that he could reel them in a little bit to where they may be more disciplined on the defensive side of the ball.
It's possible.
But I like what Steve Phillips says after that. When the fan base turns on you, it's the beginning of the end. Eagles arrow pointing down. But that's also relevant to the Cowboys because their fan base is they're pretty rabid. And fuck the Cowboys too, I agree. But their fan base is pretty rabid. They're one of the bigger fan bases besides us in this whole league. And you could see that the fan base they're getting a little irritated with not getting the best out of, they had that run there with that fucking crazy awesome offensive line and Ezekiel Elliott and
He's
Dak.
back.
Yeah. And then they just have kind of faltered since then. That fan base, new breed, cow bitches, they will not settle for this shit. They're going to overreact to everything and they're going to cause issues. That's kind of our problem as a fan base. We overreact to everything. We cause issues ourselves that resonate through the media, that resonates through to the team.
Can you spotlight Shorty on that there, Karl?
Which one?
Just highlighting there. I mean, make him the center.
Because you want me to? Am I preaching right now or?
No. I mean, you made a very valid point, and I really want you to repeat that point. I mean, and I'm not being facetious here. I'm being serious. We overreact.
We do overreact. We cause the problems. Our media base causes the problems. We listen to that media base. We're driving in our cars, listen to ESPN or 670, and we're listening to the media overreact, and we're very Sebastian Maniscalco, one of my favorite comedians. He's from Chicago. He talks about how I love to be irritated. Like that's us as Bears fans. And so when we're irritated all the time because our weather sucks and all we have is the Bears, really, they take up most of our bad weather time besides ice fishing. Some people like to ice fish. For most people, it's the Bears. But we as a fan base do overreact. And it kind of works itself down all the way to like McCaskey is listening to us. And he's probably overreacting because he's such a fan. And now it's the same kind of thing with the Cowboys, is that their fan base does the same thing and blah, 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 all the way down to now Dak Prescott is being overanalyzed. Ezekiel Elliott is gone now, and now Jerry Jones is sitting there with his dick in his hand trying to make the team better.
Yummy.
In the same fashion that McCaskey is. You can pull me off the screen now. I don't like being this huge on the screen. But we are that way. And we need to just all kind of collectively, especially us, because I think we lead that. We need to kind of take a step back and just let things happen for a little bit and not overreact. Not dwell on every shitty pass.
Good luck with that, bro.
Good luck with that. What's up, Bear Claw?
Another guy from X who's
Twitter is going crazy right now. There's probably a lot more traffic because of the debate. So maybe today was a good idea, gentlemen.
He's saying this is better than the presidential debate. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. I'm glad that VHS doesn't let it get twisted. Thank you. I appreciate that. Man, I had just to round out Shorty's point, to say that the Bears fan base is a little bit overzealous, we had our fans in the last game chanting, "We want Fields." I think that speaks volumes to exactly what Shorty was just saying. So, well said. Let's, because we're almost an hour in, surprisingly. Let's keep it rolling here.
Was that a dig towards me?
I know. I was like, wait, was that?
Was that a dig? I mean,
I was wondering the same thing. Is that?
I have no idea.
Or was he disagreeing with me?
I'm not disagreeing with no one. Well, there's going to be a point that I want to make regarding a handful of teams. It's about essentially the teams who had the starting quarterbacks or the rookie quarterbacks drafted so early.
So we can agree that the Commanders and the what's the other team in that division are not playoff.
Let's go Giants first because there's less to talk about with them, in my opinion.
They're not even a wild card. They're mediocre.
They're not as good as the Vikings, in my opinion.
They're mediocre.
I think that they're mediocre at best.
So are the Commanders. Commanders are young but intriguing.
I would like to make a point.
Actually, they're more like number one pick.
I would like to make a point, and I will let you guys have the floor. So I think that if I was to do something like this, and we'll segue into the Patriots a little bit later, I think. Maybe not. I'm not too sure. We'll have to come up on that. But there's 3 very young quarterbacks who were very highly drafted outside of Caleb Williams. There was the Commanders, the Patriots, and last year the Panthers selecting their quarterbacks, obviously. We could all group them as young but intriguing. I think this podcast is going to agree that the Panthers are very much in number 1 pick contention territory. But do we want to throw Washington and the Patriots in that same number 1 pick contention immediately? Because a little while ago, if you guys remember, I remember the Chargers getting made fun of very heavily for drafting Herbert. They essentially were made fun of because they either took Tua or couldn't get Tua, or Tua was taken right after. I can't really remember. But my point regarding that is just that I feel like there's always a young quarterback, and it could only be Caleb Williams, but I feel like there's going to be a young quarterback who really catches fire really fast. So I don't know if it's fair to put all 3 of these teams as number 1 pick contention, and I don't know if you guys think that any of those quarterbacks could really pan out this year.
Well, out of this thing that you have there, I see Washington as more of a young and intriguing, based on the fact that they had all those draft picks.
I agree.
And a young but intriguing team could make the playoffs. They're definitely probably better than mediocre at best. So if you were to say that Washington was better than the Giants, I think I'd be okay with that. So I really like young but intriguing for the Commanders.
I like intriguing for the Patriots too.
Do you?
And see with Washington, I'm more of I'm content with young and intriguing based upon we don't know, like Caleb, we don't know what Jaden Daniels is yet. So that's why he's just I can't see myself putting him at mediocre.
So with that thought process, I don't think that Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May are all going to pan out. That would be 1 to 1 million odds. So I truly think that if we're going to say that Jaden Daniels has a chance to be successful, I don't think that Drake May will be the successful quarterback in comparison. I think that the Patriots are just fine with being a number 1 pick contention team.
I agree with that part. Yes.
Okay. 2 out of 3 makes it okay. So.
Let's go back to the NFC real quick and just keep it rolling here. Let's do the NFC West.
By the way, what's up, Alan Pena? Thanks for joining us.
What's up, Alan Pena?
Yeah. I like this
from
from
Doug
Doug
Van
Van Dorn.
For a 4-hour show, we can just probably take, without going through division by division, we can just take the teams, if you show them, who are going to we can go from ground up, right?
I will speed this up very quick. Let's just go through the NFC East just to stick to the plan, so to speak. The Cardinals, do we think that they're a mediocre team, or do we consider them young and intriguing as well with the addition of Marvin Harrison?
Mediocre at best.
PJ?
Agreed.
I like it. Do we think that who's another team in that division? The 49ers. That team has to be
Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, Super Bowl contender.
Super Bowl favorites, I don't think we should have more than 2. I don't know if we should have an NFC and an AFC team, but we can fine-tune that at the end.
Can we just, or you may have to, can we just do the NFC right now?
Yeah,
That
that's
way-
what I'm trying to stick to right now. The
Okay.
only non-NFC team was just the Patriots, as per
Okay.
my quarterback spiel.
Okay.
The Rams. Do we think that the Rams are also a potential wildcard team or something else?
Yes. Potential wild card.
Do we think they're better than the Bears?
No.
Got to be better than the Cowboys? Maybe?
Yeah.
But Van Dorn did go along with the Cardinals pick mediocre at best.
Yes, and Mo Bierman, that was something I didn't round home with my point as well. Just because Jaden Daniels could be a hit for the Commanders, that doesn't mean that Jaden Daniels is a Pro Bowler, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would consider, holy smokes, the Bears' backup quarterback.
Tyson Bagent?
Yeah, if Tyson Bagent was drafted in the 5th or 6th round, I'd consider that a hit.
Shorty's love child.
I know, and I hate to stroke that chub, but he definitely is a hit, in my opinion, especially as a UDFA. But a Jaden Daniels good season doesn't mean Pro Bowl or that the Commanders would make the playoffs. But thank you, Mo Bierman.
I actually disagree with that.
With what? With what I just said?
Yes.
The command with Jaden Daniels?
Well, I'm just saying, if he is a Pro Bowler, that means that, because of Dan Quinn's defense.
My point is that Jaden Daniels, as the 2nd overall pick, could be a hit for the Commanders, and at the same time could not be a Pro Bowler. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's my exact point.
Okay.
Are we okay with the Rams being a potential wild card team, worse than the Bears, better than the Cowboys?
Only because of consistency, better than the Cowboys, yes.
Got it. I like it. McVay, best coach in the NFL. We're not going to continue that conversation either. Who's the last team in that division? The Seahawks? The Seahawks
Yes.
have to be a team that's missing the playoffs, yes?
Yes.
I don't know.
Niners,
Do you
Rams.
think that they're mediocre?
No, I actually thought the potential wild card, because didn't they almost make a wild card last year? They had a pretty decent. They had a better record than us.
But they just lost their longtime head coach.
That's right. They have a new
Pete
coach.
and their
Carroll.
offensive coordinator.
Pete Carroll
Yes.
they have a new
Yes.
offensive coordinator. Their head coach
Yes.
is the former defensive coordinator of the Ravens, so keep that in mind. Their defense could be improved. But I think that Shane Waldron is very responsible for that offense being as good as it was. I'm a huge fan of Kenneth Walker, even as a Michigan fan. But I
Two things here from chat. Mo Bierman's saying, or Atmos is saying, no, Scottish Bear is saying Rams had a brilliant draft.
They did.
Atmos next says move the Rams in place of the Lions. Wow.
Ooh.
The only thing that the Rams would be a contender for is losing one of the best defensive players of all time, because they lost Aaron Donald.
Yeah, they did.
And they could have a great draft. They could have drafted the 2 players they did and somehow signed Montez Sweat. And without Aaron Donald, that defensive line could still end up being worse. So keep that in mind.
Well said.
I don't know. I think I don't want to get too hung up on everything. I think that the Seahawks, I've got them as a team that's missing the playoffs. PJ thinks they could be a potential wild card. Shorty, what are you thinking?
Who?
The
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
I think that they're going to miss the playoffs. They're going to be mediocre at best, really, with all the change in the
PJ,
coaching staff.
I'll let you decide who has a better chance at the playoffs, the Vikings or the Seahawks.
I would go with the Seahawks.
Okay, so they're better than the Vikings in this exercise, everyone. Let's see if there's any more teams in the NFC to rank. And
South.
There are not.
South, NFC South.
Thank you. Yes. We could
The
do
Falcons.
The Saints. Yeah. Let's do the Falcons. Where do we think the Falcons are?
Mediocre at best.
I love that. But keep in mind, someone has to win that division, and you could
True.
essentially consider them a playoff team because of that.
True.
Very true. Very true.
All right, so who's going to win that division?
Ooh.
We don't think it's the Panthers, so now it's you got
It's
a
either the
33%
Saints,
chance.
what, Derek Carr, or
Buccaneers?
I'm going to say that
It's a boring answer, though, isn't it? The Buccaneers did last year. They didn't do much to improve. They made 3 signings, right? They signed players they had. They
They
re-signed
love Baker
Winfield.
Mayfield, man.
Yeah, they got Mayfield, and then they got Evans back. But that team, as it was, lost to who in the playoffs? They lost to the Lions real bad?
Hey,
No, it wasn't real bad, but
Hey, they made the playoffs.
We're talking a lot about the Buccaneers. Do we think they're a playoff team?
Potential.
I'm going to say they're going to win the division, but I think that the Falcons are a potential playoff team. So they could. I think they're a potential wild card team.
So
just with the addition of Kirk Cousins.
We think that the Buccaneers are going to win the NFC South?
I say it's a toss-up between them and the Falcons per se. So they both potential wild cards. They only because I don't know which one will win. That's why I got them.
I really like that. Unfortunately, I just don't want this potential wild card to be too mucked up. But I kind of like that, PJ.
What we should do is kind of move these down to once you become a playoff team, it means you win the division. So we should put everyone in that ranking, and then we can go from there as potential Super Bowl contenders as we work our way up. Don't you think?
So you're saying that we need to decide between the Falcons and the Buccaneers which one of those two are a playoff team?
Yeah.
Who's going to win that division? Who's going to win the Niners division? Who's going to win the NFC North?
The Saints have Chase Young now, right? I'm just joking.
Who's chasing Young? We're not talking about doctors disrespect.
Did they really sign Chase Young?
I think they did.
Yeah,
$13 million a year, I think. For 1 year.
I don't know, gentlemen. I don't think the Saints have a rat's. You know what?
Okay, so hold on. Let's just break this down. Let's break it down this way. Who's going to win the NFC North?
Oh,
we already fought that fight, man. I think we need to stay in the NFC South, and we can go back to the Bears.
I'm just working my way down. So who's going to win the NFC North? The Bears?
Lions.
The Lions. You think it's going to be the Lions? You think it's going to be the Lions? So the Lions are going to go 13-3?
Didn't say that.
Super Bowl contenders. So
yeah, I think they're Super Bowl contender. They could win the division at 11 wins. So
yeah.
Okay, so we have basically the Eagles winning that division.
Right.
Is either it's the Falcons or the Bucks winning that division. Which one is it?
Yeah, I think we have to decide, and I like it. I think that one of those teams has to be considered a playoff team.
I'm going to go with, I think it's going to be the Buccaneers based on how far they got in the playoffs last year.
It's just such a boring answer, though, because the Falcons spent so much resources on upgraded quarterbacks. I'm a huge Darnell Mooney fan. I don't want anyone to sleep on him.
But Ryan Pace is part of that team.
Ryan Pace built a great roster that was ruined by one bad kicker. So he ruined the roster afterwards.
There's two guys on the team still.
If I did this, is anyone going to say anything bad about the Falcons winning that division?
I wouldn't.
Is PJ going to lose sleep over the Falcons being considered a playoff team?
After the day I had, I'm not going to lose sleep on any over anything.
Okay, so who's going to win the NFC West? The Niners, right? So put the Niners as playoff team. Let's work our way up from there.
Niners already up there.
And we have to figure out who's going to win those playoff games to get to that Super Bowl contender.
Let's be real here. You want me to put the 49ers as a playoff team just to put them back as a Super Bowl contender? They just lost the Super Bowl. They have a very good chance.
Fair enough. I just don't think the Lions should be there because I think the Bears are going to win the division.
I think that we need to get through the organization of it at the end.
Okay, well, let's fair enough. We'll move on.
Yeah. And then the last team in this division, of course, the 33rd overall pick that the Bears own, the Panthers.
No, we didn't do the Saints yet.
We did not do the Saints. Thank you. So by this logic, we would either have them as a missing the playoff team or even worse, a mediocre at best team for the Saints, which I'm okay with either.
Missing the playoffs, probably.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we feel about this. Better team to the left. I like the Cardinals more than either the Giants or the Saints.
Well, I have the Saints as missing the playoffs.
So you'd have them even
better than the Giants, though, or worse than?
No. He's saying they clear them. He thinks PJ thinks that the Saints are just straight up better than the Giants and the Cardinals.
Okay.
Yes.
Fine. I'm okay with that too.
I can agree with that.
All right. So again, if my dyslexia or whatever you want to call it is okay, I think that there's only 16 teams left here, which are all members of the AFC.
15 teams.
Right, 15 because I already took the liberty of doing the Patriots. So we can just go right into the is it the AFC East? There's a quarterback that we know all too well who's coming off of an Achilles injury. Ooh. Do we think that Aaron Rodgers is going to guide the Jets into the playoffs or no?
Yes, playoff team.
Just straight up.
Well, nah.
They're not winning the division.
Potential wild card.
I'll meet you on BetUS. I'm placing a big bet. I think that Josh Allen could still be an MVP candidate.
Right, so they could win the division.
As a potential, the Bills.
They're better than, but you have to keep them first there on the right because now we're in the AFC. You can't rank them above NFC. They have to be ranked in their own conference. So keep them first on the right. Yeah, right now we're saying that they're potentially going to win the division.
Scottish Bear seems to think that the Jets are trash.
Correct. But they have talent, and that's the boogeyman we're talking about. I don't want to just write him off.
Right.
I like potential wildcard team for the Jets.
They've got a nice receiving core and a pretty good defense. They were missing the boogeyman last year.
All you guys in the chat, I want to say thank you. 59 in the chat, so thank you for joining us. Go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoying what you're watching here.
No cheating,
you being a part of it.
PJ,
and
no
subscribe
cheating.
if you're so inclined.
Yes, please. PJ, no cheating. Do we have more viewers currently on YouTube or Twitter?
I don't have Twitter, so I wouldn't know.
No, our viewers currently. We have 58 viewers, but it shows me the breakdown. How many are on YouTube and how many are on Twitter?
Oh, I would
Which
say
platform has more?
I would say X.
There you go. Smart man.
Wow.
35 of you guys, according to the StreamYard here, on the ye old Twitter machine. Thank you guys.
So those of you on X, go ahead and leave a comment because I'm still trying to watch the comments that's coming in from X because if I remember correctly, I've only seen Andrew this week from X.
Yeah, with the X symbol on their avatar.
So
Andrew's still in here.
If you on X
and Bear Claw too.
Oh,
Bear Claw with the big compliment saying that this is better than the presidential debate, which I'd have to agree. I might be biased. I'm not sure.
I can hear my wife laughing a lot in the other room though. So I don't know.
Fist bump to your wife. I think, PJ, are we okay with the Jets being as a potential wildcard team?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on then. I have very strong opinion on the Bills. I think that the loss of Stephon Diggs will end up being an addition. So I will have them as a clear-cut playoff team.
Okay. Wait, where does Stephon Diggs go, by the way?
He was traded for a second-round pick to the Houston Texans.
Houston.
And guess who did not get a contract extension? Stephon Diggs. So that's a second-round pick for a one-year rental.
Houston, we have a problem.
Thank you.
Houston, we have a problem.
I like the Bills as a definite playoff team. I don't think that they're a Super Bowl contender anymore, just with the roster subtractions they needed to do. Mr. Ryan Bates, thank you. But I like them as a playoff team.
They cleared house. Hold on. The Bills cleared house.
Micah Hyde, they got rid of him, and I think maybe Poyer as well. I have no idea.
They had to. They paid the quarterback.
They got rid of their center. They got rid of a lot of players this year.
This is where they're going to be able to finagle that money because their quarterback is so good. Teams are willing, like a Von Miller. Those types of players are willing to play for them for cheap if they won't find themselves on the Chiefs. So I like the Bills as a playoff team. We'll see what happens. But
now that I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of going down in the rankings there. I'm thinking potential wild card.
For who wins the AFC East, PJ?
Miami.
That's the other team we have to get.
Got to be Miami.
Are you guys gonna bump me off?
Oh,
Miami is a playoff team in the division winner.
Yep.
I mean, they lost their defensive coordinator or defensive line coach, however you want to call him.
They didn't lose Vic Fangio. That's all that matters.
Well, Philly got Vic Fangio, so yeah.
Oh, they did lose. That's right. He left after 1 year. Sorry.
Yeah, but did you guys see how the Miami Dolphins cornerbacks were reacting to the loss of Vic Fangio? They loved it, man.
Oh,
Vic Fangio was not about the nightlife and the strippers and the GTA in real life stuff.
Yeah,
that he was not a fan of that.
And the thing about them is, we sat here during the draft, right? And I kept going, "Who's the next fastest guy available?" And we looked him up, like, okay, draft him. Boom, Miami gets him. They just went speed in this draft, and they already had speed. and they've worked on his release is quicker. Boom, boom, boom. Balls coming out. What'd you say, PJ?
I don't know why they would do that because his arm's not that strong. So I wouldn't.
Right, because they're trying to get the ball out quick to the speed guys.
Exactly. So that's something you have to keep in mind with the Dolphins. The Bears could have the best wide receiver trio in the NFL, assuming that the rookie Rome Odunze pans out. But I think it's no question that the Dolphins have the best duo. Tyreek Hill is a different player, and I really like Jalen Waddle.
Can you guys sober up before the next?
You beat me to it. Charles Johnson, no promises, man. I can't control these old guys. I'm just kidding. We don't have to be silent.
I can't do this show sober, Charles. Sorry.
BCP After Dark. Hi, everyone. My name is Dan. Oh, gosh. Ooh. Okay, I think we're keeping it as is for the AFC East. Scottish Bear saying that he feels that Sean McDermott will get fired. Oh, my goodness. He has game management issues in big games.
I'm telling you.
What is their record against the Chiefs? Loss.
I'm just saying, with them clearing their house the way they did, and I'm not so convinced on the Bills.
That's the thing, King Buka World. I also don't think that we literally just saw that the Dolphins were not equipped to go into a very frigid game at Arrowhead against the Chiefs. And
Good point, King Buka World. Good point, bro.
Yeah, they got bounced easily, so I don't know. I'm just so high on Josh Allen. I think he's a great quarterback, and I think that that's what the driving factor would be for a good team at the end of the day. That's like the huge differentiating factor.
Really? You really think Josh Allen is a great quarterback?
I think that Josh Allen on what month is it? Is it June 27th, 2024? Yeah. Josh Allen is head and shoulders, hashtag not an ad, head and shoulders better than Tua. He's so much better.
He's the second best quarterback in the AFC to me right now.
Really?
I mean, you'd be discrediting Lamar Jackson, who I'm not very high on. We'll have to talk about him in a second, but
he's a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson.
Everything can go into it, right?
Jackson,
but I think Lamar Jackson,
as well as Justin Herbert, is both better than he is.
Yeah, he's better than Justin Herbert.
You're high on Justin Herbert, PJ? Because I like that. Me too.
Yes.
Me too.
I like Justin Herbert, but he's better than the both of them, in my opinion.
No one in chat is telling us that we're wrong about our AFC East predictions right now, though. So, I don't know. I kind of like it with the Dolphins being the playoff team and the division winner.
Yeah, I agree with that. What about, we already got the Patriots. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
moving on one of those number one pick contention teams.
To the South?
Yeah, we can do the AFC South, no problem. Do we want to start with the Mr. $55 million man, put his team at mediocre at best? No, someone's got to win. Someone has to win that division, right? Yeah, shout out King Buka. I like the Josh Allen 30 for 30. 30 touchdowns passing, 30 touchdowns running. Or no, never mind. He's referring to touchdowns and interceptions. He has to be. I don't know.
So wait, you have the Jaguars. Jaguars are mediocre at best?
No, I'm just a silly guy. I don't know. They could be a potential wildcard team. I really just don't want this group to be so mucked up with all these teams.
I think they're going to miss playoffs.
Who's going to? Oh, never mind. Yeah. What do you think, PJ?
I'm thinking missing the playoffs.
Dan, do you like that?
Yeah, I do.
Me too. Because the clear-cut, obvious choice and one of the better teams, I don't want to put them here.
Right.
But I really like the Texans as a better team than the Dolphins as a playoff team. I like the Texans a lot this year.
Yeah.
Hard to disagree with that.
Agreed. I think Colts are missing the playoffs. I think Colts are actually surprisingly pretty decent. I'm almost borderline putting them a potential wild card.
Well, the other team in the division remaining would be the Titans. I think the Colts are probably better than the Jaguars, so having them as a potential wildcard team is fine by me.
Me too.
We'll have to look at the rest of the AFC because I can't conceptualize
Titans
that just yet.
mediocre at best.
Yeah, I like the Titans at mediocre at best as well.
Me too.
Let's roll along then. Let's go.
North.
Do we want to talk about the Chiefs or the Ravens next?
North.
AFC North, rather. So the Ravens. Yeah. Are we willing to put this team as a Super Bowl favorite?
Nope. They're a playoff team.
They're a contender. They have to be.
I say they're a contender, yes.
They have to be. They have to be, man.
Okay.
That team is too stacked. You're sleeping on Kyle Hamilton. You're sleeping on the defensive tackle, who I literally probably would have killed Foster for, Matabuke. He's so good, man. I think that team is loaded up.
He's picking up Foster. Foster's not even here. He's like, I would have killed Foster for him.
Dude, I'm on one tonight, gentlemen. I can't find the soundbite.
Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies.
That's where Foster is. He's burying the bodies right now. We're missing you, Foster, wherever you are.
Yes, yeah, Foster, we miss you, man.
All right, so next in this division is the Steelers.
Hold on. Do I need to put PJ on the big screen here for the Steelers?
You already know where I'm going.
Super Bowl contender?
No. I honestly think they're
always a potential wild card.
Yeah, they're always that, but they may be a playoff team this year.
Yeah.
The NFC North is so strong this year, but the AFC North could be stronger. Look at the Bengals. The only reason the Bengals weren't in the playoffs last year is because their starting quarterback, who's definitely worth at least $55 million a year, he got injured.
No,
he seems
Burrow's
to do
great.
So.
Burrow is great.
He's good. He's a really good quarterback.
Maybe next week we have to do a quarterback ranking.
Yeah, I just have to take my problems with quarterbacks getting paid this outrageously amount. Like I said, for those of you who haven't heard me say this before, I want to repeat it now. No one player should be worth more than 10% of the team salary cap. I just don't believe it. Not one. No one player.
I don't know, PJ. Dan Aguirre called me Karl Marx, referring to me as a communist, but that's a pretty communist idea right there, buddy.
Yeah, but see, that's why you have only the Chiefs in the modern era, outside of the Chiefs and the Tom Brady teams. Quarterbacks have won Super Bowls with a quarterback who's not on a rookie contract.
Peyton Manning was not on a rookie contract. He was getting paid buku money. He won 2.
There's a lot of here. Scottish Bears asking, even Patrick Mahomes, PJ? Like, really?
No one player, because you got to consider you got 53 players. So 53 players, and if you have one player who's making over 10% of the salary cap, I think that's unfair to the rest of the team. Because as great as that one player is, he still needs those 10 other guys on the field with him at that particular time.
Well, I could debate you and tell you that Patrick Mahomes is worth 50% of the salary cap because he just won a Super Bowl, dragging his offense to it.
I disagree. I totally disagree.
Pacheco's good, but who else are their wide receivers? Rashid Rice, only because he was in the news for bad things.
But the thing is, he can't throw the ball to himself. Somebody's catching it. He can't block for himself.
He probably could if he wanted to.
I think he could as well.
I'm just saying, I think you hurt your team. I think it's bad for the sport, and I think that would probably be eventually the decline of the sport because of these quarterbacks' contracts. It's just
I understand where you're coming from, so I can make an argument for your point very, very well. In fact, I talked to BearsCountry recently on the phone, and he had a breakdown of the quarterbacks making 15%, or like he broke it down to what the quarterbacks used to make, and then he took into account the salary cap increase and how much that increased percentage-wise, and it came up with like the highest paid quarterback in the league right now is making like 14%, and the top 3, 14, 13, whatever, 15, I think it's actually 15 something, hadn't even made the playoffs. And I think Patrick Mahomes was like 14% of his salary cap, and he's won 3 out of 4 Super Bowls or whatever. So the other 3 have not even made the playoffs last year.
You're going to handicap your team by paying the quarterback like that. And again, I understand, the league wants points scored and all that, but seriously, as a non-quarterback, I would vote for that if I'm that player. I mean, I see someone, Mo Beerman makes a comment that the CBA wouldn't go for it. But if you got 52 other players saying, hey, yeah, let him not make 10%, that means I'm going to make more money.
What about if what Scottish Bear is saying here, that he believes there's a cap needed for quarterbacks? So how about if there was the quarterback can never make more than 14% of the salary cap of the team?
That's what the NBA does, right? They call that the Supermax contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you identifying a specific position like that, saying that, oh, this guy, they have their own little salary cap, that to me opens you up more to a lawsuit than anything.
Yeah.
So I would say, man, blanket. No one player makes more than 10% of the salary cap.
Fair enough.
We'll talk about political views real quick. I leave it as is. The NFL salary cap will continue to increase, and I think organically they can decide how much they want to pay their quarterback. So while you guys were yapping, I decided to put the Bengals as a definite playoff team, as a wild card, because I think that the Ravens could win the division again.
No, listen, here's why I disagree, because Joe Burrow cannot stay healthy. They're always a potential wild card team because of him, but you can't automatically rank him as a playoff team because of him.
Right.
So
if you want to talk me off of it, that's fine.
We both just did. You're putting him as a.
I don't think that Joe Burrow is an injury concern. I think that he was drafted into a team that had a terrible offensive line, which resulted in him tearing his ACL very unluckily. And then he had a freak hand injury, which now that's never going to happen if it was from a throwing motion, because the players will have pads on their helmet. They'll have
if they choose
snow globes on their hand. Well, Joe Burrow will tell them what they have to do at that point. But okay. Do you guys agree that the Bengals, if in a perfect world, are better than the Jets, Colts, and Steelers? I know I don't want to give PJ too much showtime with the Steelers here, but
I haven't really commented much on the Steelers yet. But I do say, if they get that trade in, if they get Ayuk in that trade, watch out.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about another conditional pick trade that happened a little closer to home. But
hey, that does help us out if he does well.
Yeah. As we start to get closer to Bears football, there's no reason to root against the Steelers as a Bears fan, man. You want that trade to go through.
Oh God, yeah.
So
we want nothing more than Justin Fields to ball out in the AFC.
Okay.
Balls over.
The last wild card here, so to speak, is going to be the Browns. And their Diddy party attender quarterback. We think
their happy ending quarterback?
Do we think that every single team in the AFC North is a potential wild card team? That seems asinine. What?
I actually do. Yes, I actually do. Well, I think they have to be the best division in football right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Did they make the playoffs last year?
The Browns?
Yeah.
They barely missed it.
Yeah, they barely missed it. No, they went to the playoffs.
But the Steelers didn't have Justin Fields last year.
Yeah. What happened was the Browns got in via the wild card and went to the Texans Stadium and got ran out the floor.
Shorty, you and I are there, bro.
That's free, pal. Wink.
Dang, why you got to be a wink, though?
Because I'm in your corner.
Yeah, I think potential wild card is where they belong. I mean, that Myles Garrett, he's a ton, man. Oh my gosh, that dude right there. Whew.
Oh man.
Okay, so
Myles Garrett.
Guess I would like Dan's clear-cut opinion. Are the Steelers and the Browns a potential wild card team?
Okay. Yes.
Because it says potential. Yeah, that's why your listing or your category they're going to have so many teams in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to avoid, though. But it's kind of hard to.
But that's one of the better divisions, so we'll get there because we're going to eventually raise this up and eliminate all the missing the playoffs teams and go from there, right? This is the path to the Super Bowl for the Bears, to the playoffs.
I mean, I don't know if you want to delve into that. We can. I
I
do
do.
like
That's
the
what I
idea
wanna
of
do.
bumping teams up into the playoff teams so that we can sort out who we think is going to make the playoffs. But if that's what you want to do, we can do that. That's totally fine by me.
Well, we don't have to predict the Super Bowl teams right now because I'm not there yet either. But other than I predicted the Bears to go 13-4 and win the Super Bowl with the first rookie quarterback of all time. So, I mean, I could make the case for it.
Mo Beerman.
Mo Beerman's a beast.
Browns will go down as far as D. Pervert takes them.
It got me so good, man.
He'll be asking for happy endings on the field. But like, that doesn't happen here, man. We don't touch things.
Yeah. Did you guys see the preseason photo shoot that the Browns did?
No.
I'll try and put it on screen in a second. They took a picture of Deshaun Watson sitting in like a very suspicious hallway that looked like a jail cell. They said, "Wow, why did you trade for him if you think that he actually touched those women?" Oh no, man! No,
They traded a lot.
Guaranteed money too.
For Bill Cosby. Unbelievable.
First guaranteed contract, a fully guaranteed contract of all time, right?
Lay off Bill Cosby.
Thanks.
Now. Hold on now.
Thank you, Jay Grizz. Okay, I think that we should move on then. There's 4 teams left. I will go ahead and get that out of the way.
Yeah, please do.
What do we think of the Chargers? I know PJ's a fan of Justin Herbert, which I'm happy to hear. Do they think that they're a potential wild card team? No?
To me, with Harbaugh now, they're a playoff team.
To me, they're
hold on, not a potential wild card team on the same level as the Bills and.
Well, no, it would have to be if they have to win a division over the Chiefs. I don't see that happening, so they have to be potential wild card.
No, they don't. They could have 10 wins and not win the division, but they could still make their way into the playoffs. There's 3 wild card teams.
I think they're going to take a step back. Actually, they lost their receivers, so they're going to take a step back.
And their tight end.
Yeah, so I'll say missing the playoffs.
Wink.
And Harbaugh got to get them get them on his program, so that may take a year.
All right. So you agreeing with him, or we override him?
I like the Chargers as a team that misses the playoffs. Wow. Unfortunately, PJ talked me off the ledge, but they lost so much, and Jim Harbaugh was on the hot seat for the University of Michigan because he had not fully gotten his team to buy in yet. But then he convinced players like Blake Corum and all these other great players to just come back one more year. Stay and you will be champions. And guess who's the champions? So give them a year.
The thing is they bought into him.
The University of Michigan did.
Right.
This is the first year of the Chargers experiment.
But don't you think they're going to buy into him because of that?
They already have. They have to, yes. But they can only.
It's a that's a potential wild card team. Then, in my opinion, they already were.
There's 2 other teams here, so we can.
Those teams suck. But just take the Raiders right now, put them at mediocre at best, and put them right there.
I like this. I like this a lot. The Broncos are better than the Patriots, but
not a Sean Payton team. Not a Sean Payton team.
The Broncos are playing with Bo Nix. The Broncos are playing with a rookie and Bo Nix, and the Patriots are playing with.
How many games did the Bears win in 2005 with Kyle Orton? Anything is possible.
Listen, I don't.
Linda.
My brain is telling me that Drake May is better than Bo Nix. The Patriots.
My brain is telling me that the Patriots are terrible at drafting and have nothing surrounding Drake May, who won't even see the field until after the first month because they're going to let Brissett play. Or whoever the quarterback ahead of them is. So, I'm not going to let you talk me off of that one.
Hold on, I'm pulling up the draft.
A very strong contention for...
The Patriots draft was Drake May, wide receiver Jalen Polk out of Washington, offensive tackle Keaton Wallace from Penn State, guard Layden Robinson, Texas A&M.
Look at PJ's face.
Okay, you're right.
Look at PJ's face. No, go ahead, PJ.
Layden Robinson's a pretty guard.
Wide receiver Javon Baker.
No, I'm actually listening to what he's saying, and I'm
Florida.
trying to remember the player. So.
Cornerback Marcellus Dial, quarterback Joe Milton. Tight end Jaheim Bell. It's not that great of a draft, other than
Joe Milton's a Michigan legend too.
Isn't Joe Milton from Tennessee?
Yeah.
What I do like about the Patriots, though, is they brought in Jared Mayo, who was a longtime Patriot. He's got his own damn mayonnaise because of his last name.
I like that.
Mayonnaise.
I think Jared Mayo is going to be a better coach than we think.
If the Scrody fits.
That's our ode to Foster right now, missing the show. Without even telling us, by the way. He just ghosted us. Fucking Foster.
Hey, clearing out that house is a lot of work.
And then passing out when you're done.
Man, then you have to take off your shirt.
Yeah. Remember that show? Ugh. What are you doing? It's when you wear sunglasses at night.
Isn't that what you're doing? I'm just kidding.
All right, now that we got this.
No UV rays. They haven't turned my glasses into sunglasses yet.
That we got this part
done. Take off my shirt, then they will.
Now that we got this part done, let me interject real quick and let you guys know. My lights did go off again. It went off Saturday morning. I was like, man. And then we had another storm come through where some more trees got knocked down. And my neighbors across the street, the ones whose lights are always on when mine go off.
Yeah.
Theirs was out and mine was on.
Oh, were you like applauding with your wife? Like, finally.
Thank God you have solar panels, right, PJ?
I'll show you guys.
Wait, PJ, when you woke up in the morning and your lights were and your power was off, did you pull out your lanterns?
In the morning?
Yeah.
Huh?
You caught that one, huh?
Yeah, I caught that.
Officer, you're going to have to pull him over. He's been drinking tonight.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
If a plane crashes in the desert, where do you bury the survivors? It was one of those questions.
Whoa. Oh, yeah, I agree. But you know what the
How about this one? If a rooster lays an egg on top of a roof, which side does the egg fall down?
Rooster
left or right? There you go. You're following me. See?
But here's the thing, though. You guys always hear the one about the if a tree falls in the woods, does it make noise?
Yeah.
Does anybody hear it?
No. Yeah. The question is, does it make noise? If a tree
falls in the woods and nobody's around to hear it, does it make a sound?
Yes.
It
still makes the noise. Just because you don't hear it, it still makes the noise.
Right. It does. It has to, right?
That's where I'm at.
How can you prove that if nobody was there to hear it?
Because you had a
law. You can't, can you?
You had a recorder there.
Yeah, I was gonna say an animal. What are they called? I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I got you.
But that means someone was around to hear it with a recording device.
But that's
something was around. They heard it after the fact.
You
recorded it. Was that AI? Was that fake?
Something. It never happened. So the Declaration of Independence was never signed because no one alive was there to see it.
That's true. That's true. Let's pontificate. Let's.
Scottish Bear saying cracking sound. Sorry, I was tearing off trivias from my calendar that my wife got me. So we're doing trivia after this. Go ahead. Yes, sorry about that. I put myself on mute. I apologize for that. But yeah, you're correct, PJ. If nobody was there to see the independence of the Constitution signed, did it happen? You're right.
Hey.
Holy shit! Cliff Victoria's here. That means the debate is over.
Out of respect to VHS, we might want to not talk about it. But I just wanted to point out that Mr. Cliff is here. Still haven't seen him in the same room as Don Burr. So just
Don Burr's here?
Throw that out there. No, I'm saying, yeah, like I haven't seen Cliff and Don Burr in the same room together.
There you go.
How's that little name, Cliff?
Shorty, PJ, do we want to make any tweaks, changes to our
I'm actually good with it.
Well, I'm good with this right so far. So now I want to eliminate missing the playoff teams. Just take all those guys out of there, and let's figure out who's going to go from potential wild card to playoff team.
Okay, and we'd have to end up with a total of 14 teams, yes?
You have to do 7 and 7 though.
Yeah, 14.
No, I'm just saying you got to make out of that 14, make sure it's divided up 7 and 7 from the AFC and the NFC.
Thank God my math is worse than yours.
Right. It has to be 14 at the end of the day, but it shouldn't be skewed either.
Right.
So
it can't be 8 and 6.
Okay.
Exactly.
So if these are the teams that are either a potential wild card or a playoff team, let's put the division winners, because we agree with these guys, right? Because that would be the Super Bowl favorites and the contenders have no division winners or duplicates. They are winning their divisions essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So the playoff teams would have to be not the AFC North, the NFC West, the NFC North, and the AFC West.
So let's go back to our 12-5 record prediction as a panel with the Bears. That's not a division winning team.
I think that the Lions are going to win the division.
12-5, it'd be hard for them not to win the division with that type of
Correct.
That's why I don't agree with that record.
That's 11-4. You're saying the Lions are going to go 11-4?
No, they'd have to go 13, right? They'd have to have a
Or,
better
sorry,
record than 12
yeah.
and 5.
They'd have to go
13 and 4.
I don't know how it shakes out, man, but I think that the Lions should
11
be
and-
considered a Super Bowl contender from what they did last year, and de facto the division winner.
Okay, so what's the Lions schedule?
Got to be the first place schedule.
So the Lions play.
They got to play the NFC West like we do.
They have the Rams at home, the Buccaneers at home. They're at the Cardinals, the Seahawks at home, at the Cowboys, Vikings at home, Lions at home. Or sorry, they're at the Vikings, Lions at home, at the Packers, at the Texans. I see at least 5 losses on this.
I was going to say I
The Bills,
only see 4.
they play the Bills, the Niners, the Packers twice, the Jaguars.
Yeah. I am getting lost here. I'm not going to lie to you. Because I said that I think that the Bears are going to beat the Lions, but collectively we thought it's a loss. And then the next visit would be a win. So 1 loss for the Lions this year, we consider that to be against the Bears. So there's 1 loss. I was very aggressive in my prediction, thinking that they could lose to the Texans, which is 2. They'll split with the Packers, which would be 3. They'll lose to the Bills, which is 4, and lose to the 49ers, which is 5. So that's 5 losses for the Lions at 12-5, just like we have with the Bears. So put it down to a tiebreaker, the Lions win the division by a tiebreaker. So, again, I think that them winning the division is A-okay in my book and is essentially the expectation.
It's about to get really convoluted because trying to
Yes.
figure out everybody else's schedule and
I know. I don't want
What
to delve
they're
into
doing.
that. I'm very okay with whittling this down to 7 AFC and 7 NFC teams, but it's going to get a little silly soon. So,
yeah, I obviously don't think the Bears will win that.
I think the Lions peaked. I do. I think they peaked. I think they're going to they ramped up. I think now we're on our way up. We're going to overtake it, and they're on their way down. And the wild card for this whole thing in our division is the fucking Packers because they just don't seem to go away.
So when we had Shorty on the spotlight there, when he was saying about being delusional, well, what were you saying about overhyping or something there? I mean,
I was saying that we, as fans, we overhype our team and we make it. We kind of create problems as fans by creating problems because we overanalyze everything way too much.
Our team to go 13-4.
Well, no, that's just me being a super fan who I cannot pick them to have a lose. I don't think I've ever predicted them to have a losing record unless I was really depressed about them.
you saw the Bears sign Mike Glennon off the street and you thought that they'd have a winning record? I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, but
Now he gonna talk about kicking somebody when they down. That was
I'm a Bears fan as much as Dan. I'm sorry. I have to keep it real. Just like Dave Chappelle, we keep it real.
That was good.
Because I had confidence in Trubisky in that year. I thought that he would
stopped
win.
watching the Bears when they drafted Trubisky. That pick pissed me off so much.
I thought he would outright win that competition in training camp, and he'd be the starting quarterback when the season started. I didn't like the draft pick, but then I bought into it because I can't help myself. You know,
I understand.
I tried to find all the good things in Trubisky to make myself like him.
I actually liked Trubisky. I just thought he was inexperienced with only 13 starts in college. I
really bought into Trubisky after the Cody Parkey fiasco. I thought he did a great job of leading them back against
that
the
was a
Eagles
good drive
to get to that point. Yes,
I agree.
So take that base and build on it.
Let's not forget the pass that was caught, the beautiful pass to Miller, and they called it a fumble on like the 4-yard line when it wasn't.
Are we talking about his last football play?
No, not his last one. It was in that same game. It's what caused the double doink. He threw a beautiful deep ball to Miller, and he caught it.
Anthony Miller, Ant-Man, the wide receiver. Yeah.
Anthony Miller fumbled it.
Yeah.
He actually didn't fumble it, but they called it a fumble. He hit the ground, and the ground caused the fumble or something like that. And they called it a fumble. Actually, no. What happened was they didn't rule it on the field, so it. As they didn't blow the whistle, so anyone could have picked up the ball and ran it in because technically it was a fumble, because anyone could have picked it up and ran into the end zone with it, but they never blew the whistle. So then when they replayed it, they said it was a fumble, even though it technically wasn't, because he didn't fumble the ball. The ground caused it. It was a fucked up play. It was that play in the game. Well, there was one more where in the beginning of the game, the Bears had a 4th down. And it was the defense stopped the Eagles, and they gave the Eagles like an extra 2 yards on the play, even though it was like a 4th and inches, and they actually stopped them. It's a whole different play. But there was 2 plays in that game. It was that one and that one. Those were the differences. And let's not forget, it wasn't a double doink. It was actually blocked. So we can talk shit all we want about Trubisky, but he threw some nice passes, especially in that game. And quite honestly, his best pass of his entire career was probably his last, or one of his last, in that playoff game against the Saints that you're talking about, where what's his name just dropped it right through his arms. The flea flicker.
Mims,
yeah. God.
Javon Wims, I can't remember.
Javon Wims, yeah.
Chat, you guys should be proud of yourselves. We found a way during a presidential debate to get Shorty's blood pressure to rise without him watching that debate.
True.
So bravo to you guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
So now,
if we want to get really nitty gritty with this, I just counted it out. I think there's 8 NFC teams. So if we want to just knock out the NFC real quick, again, I think that the NFC North division is the Lions. Mm-hmm. The NFC South division winner is the Falcons. The NFC East division winners would have to be the Eagles. Mm-hmm. And the NFC West division winners would have to be the 49ers. So we have our division winners placed promptly. Who are the 3 wildcard teams between Green Bay, Chicago, the Rams, and the Cowboys? It feels like we have to decide who gets bumped out between the Rams and the Cowboys.
What about the Buccaneers, bro?
Yes. Thank you, because the Falcons are the division winner. So the Buccaneers as well.
I'm going to pull the Cowboys. That's my opinion. I'm going to pull the Buccaneers too. What do you guys think?
So Shorty is thinking that the 7 teams of the NFC playoffs would be, in no particular order, the Lions, the 49ers, the Eagles, the Falcons, the Packers, the Bears, and the Rams.
Correct.
7.
What do you guys think?
No gang signs.
I disagree, of course. I think...
Of course?
Of course.
I don't know.
Purely based on the unknown, I see the Dallas making the playoffs over the Bears. Or the Cowboys making the playoffs over the Bears. perhaps even the Buccaneers before the Bears. Um, I'm going based upon history here because if I'm being my biggest issue with the Bears right now, contrary to what you guys may think, I need to see Eberflus show me he can win a big game. He can outcoach that guy across from him. Show me that you can do that, sir, because some of your moves are questionable to me, coaching wise. So
The wild card becomes Caleb Williams if he can make the difference in those games where he is outcoached. Really, is what it comes down to.
well, I mean, because like I told you before on the previous show, I think LaFleur just outcoaches Eberflus every time he plays him. He just outcoaches it. So there are times I thought we had better talent than what they had, and he just got outcoached. So sorry.
It's hard for me to say that the Buccaneers would bump the Bears out of the playoffs because the Falcons could win the division with a losing record, for Pete's sake. So I don't know. I kind of like exactly where the NFC is looking at right now, just as a preliminary thing. I know PJ's more skeptical on the Bears, but myself, Dan, and the chat are a little bit more optimistic about Caleb Williams and the chance of the Bears. I'm willing to say that the Bears go 9-8 and squeak in and are worse than the Rams. I like the Rams a lot, but that's as far as I'll go. I think the Bears are a playoff team.
So do I. We override PJ. Just throw them in there.
They squeak in. So the AFC. We have the Chiefs being the winners of the AFC West, the Ravens being the winners of the AFC North, the Texans being the winners of the AFC South, and the AFC East would be won by the Dolphins. So we have to whittle down from 6 to 3. Wait, that doesn't make... No, yeah. Because there's 4 divisions and they each need winners. So it's the 4 here and the 4 there. That's 8. So yeah, these are your division winners as a playoff team or better. So the wild card teams would come down to who? Out of the Bills, Bengals, Jets, Colts, Browns, and Steelers.
I know you're high on Josh Allen. I'm not. I'm thinking the Jets, Bengals, and Steelers probably.
That is just bizarre to me. I know that
Jets.
Tomlin has never has had a losing record as the coach of the Steelers. I don't see how you can think that the Steelers are better than the Bills. I don't see that. We should keep in mind as well, if we think that the AFC North is so good, someone's going to get beat up because of that. Could be the Browns. I think it's the Steelers.
I think it's the Browns.
Yeah, I think the Browns too. They get beat up.
So we're going to take the Browns out, and we're going to have them.
Browns going to get beat up so bad that somebody's going to need to go to a massage parlor.
Chat, let me remind you very quickly.
All right, so now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 AFC teams.
Colts got to get out of there.
I agree with that.
Colts are, they're not making the playoffs.
Yeah, I think
so now it boils down to the boogeyman of the Jets and the AFC North and the the MVP caliber quarterback, Josh Allen.
The Bills, out of there. Out of there.
Yep, I agree. I think the Jets are making it.
They're in the same division, so you think that boogeyman is just straight up better than the Bills?
Yep.
That's so hard, but
Josh Allen hasn't played the boogeyman yet in his division.
Oh, well, I can't speak to that. That's true, but I don't know if they've had a head-to-head. It's not my decision. You guys think that the Bills are essentially they got wiped out too much in the offseason, and they're just not going to be able to make the playoffs.
That's what I think.
So we're thinking our playoffs are looking like so. Again, the AFC teams should have 7. So we've got the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Texans, the Dolphins, and of course the Jets, Bengals, Steelers. That's 7.
Mm-hmm.
There's your playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. That's what the BCP panel here thinks.
Overall.
2 out of 3, really.
Right.
But now, how do we? So this is how the Bears make the playoffs. Really, that's the intention of the show tonight, right? Not how they win the Super Bowl.
Right.
I mean, I could try and get fancy and come up with a playoff bracket based off of this right now if you really want to, but
Nah.
it feels like that would be a little bit more effort than is required. In this scenario, though, I can't remember anymore.
The Bears would play the Falcons, and what would be awesome about that is
it's not 7 versus 1; it's 7 versus 2, right?
Right.
So if 1 is the 49ers, the Bears would be the 7 seed going to the 2 seed Lions.
Well, that's we go.
Shorty. Pardon my French. What a fucking atmosphere that would be for Caleb Williams to go into Ford Field and play the Lions in the playoffs.
And then win. So now we can take that out of there and just put the Bears and remove the Lions and put the Bears in place of the Lions.
let me see if I can keep this together in my head. So that would mean that 3 plays 6, right? Who would 3 be? The Eagles? And 6 would be the Rams?
No, the Eagles win the division. So, well...
Yeah, so who's going to have a better record, the Eagles or the Falcons? The Eagles.
So
they would be the 3 seed.
Yeah.
So 3 would play 6. It wouldn't matter. If the Bears were 7th seed and the Lions were 2 seed and the Bears beat them, the next week game, the divisional, would be the 49ers as the 1 versus the 7th seeded Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Best versus worst.
Yes.
So Caleb Williams pulls a rabbit out of his hat, does the thing and beats Jared Goff in Ford Field, and then has to go all the way across the world to the 49ers stadium and play against the 49ers who just came off a Super Bowl loss.
It's a Scottish Bears saying, Karl, it's going to be fair. The Lions don't like playing the Bears. They don't, because we always get the best of them.
Fuck the Lions.
Well, let me just say this. If you're going to bet responsibly.
BetUS, where the game begins.
Not a lot of responsibility in here, right?
If you're going to take that bet there that the Bears are going to go inside and go to San Francisco and upset them like that, well, please bet responsibly.
No.
Do not mortgage your house.
That's where it would take a turn of the tide for the Bears to go to the Niners, who are the favorite, and the favorite to win the Super Bowl. They're a Super Bowl contender in this category, where the Bears were in the 80s and the Niners came in and beat us. That's why.
Hey, give me a cup of that Kool-Aid, will you? Just give me a cup of that Kool-Aid over there. I want to have what Shorty's having.
It would take that turn of the tide. It's not
Kool-Aid
for the Bears.
No Diddy.
To beat the Niners at Niners Field.
Scottish Bears is spitting facts, though.
Dude, Scottish Bear, that loss to the Packers in the championship game, I've never felt that low as a Bears fan in my entire life. Never have.
I disassociated, man. I literally sometimes can't watch that BJ Raji bastard. I can't watch that play.
Let's just go back and have Shorty make that statement all over again. We as Bears fans, we
overreact. But I'm not overreacting in the fact that I'm like getting down on them. I'm overreacting in the fact that I'm being overly optimistic. That's different.
It's still overreacting though.
But overly optimistic is a hell of a lot better than like overly pessimistic. That's what Bears fans
emotional damage.
I'll add that to the soundboard. Let me write that down real quick.
Mark the time. 2 hours, a minute 59.
Oh, I would much rather use PJ's voice for that. Yeah, let me take a snapshot of that. I was gonna say I can get the actual clip, but
STC. What's up, STC?
I that guy's voice.
Huh? STC saying even Bajan could beat Purdy.
Come on, man. Stop with that shit.
Man. feeding into the delusion.
That's what it is.
Emotional damage.
Over optimism, baby.
And see, this is right here, ladies and gentlemen, is why people want to jump off the cliff when somebody doesn't succeed, because they have all.
They want to jump off of Cliff Victoria.
Ooh.
Because they weren't succeeding when they were on cliff. They were like, all right, I gotta move on to something else. It's not working.
And when things don't go a certain way, they ready to sell the team. They ready to move to Canada. They just ready to do everything.
Can you imagine this panel in chat if the Bears are 8-0, the kind of over optimism that's going to gleam from me then? Everyone's going to come.
Green Bay.
Everyone's going to come to BCP just to see my over optimism.
What we could do, if the Bears go 8-0, okay, what I'll do is whenever we're not live on Thursday, this YouTube channel will be live, and it'll just be this on loop.
Shit, fuck Green Bay. Shit, fuck Green Bay. Shit, fuck Green Bay.
Like for hours, days at a time. Yeah. 6 days live on YouTube straight.
God, that'd be fucking...
Shit, fuck Green Bay.
Oh, that's a great idea.
But they'd have to be 8-0, so...
They won't get a copyright claim for his voice.
Yeah. Why not?
Oh, man, that's good. That's good.
I have a better idea. Get Austin Booker on the pod.
Hey, Cliff Victoria says he'll hold me up.
We used to have a director of media relations that was in charge of that, but he's not here tonight.
Is his name Master Roshi?
More like Papa Smurf.
Look at the compliments you're getting over here. STC, Karl is a great addition to the show. Hey, thank you, STC.
Whoever that Karl guy is, props to him. I agree with you, STC. Thank you.
No, you really are, Karl. You're doing a great job. We appreciate it, man. You're killing it tonight with this.
I appreciate you guys.
So, from here, Bears beat the Lions. Just move the Bears up to there.
You need me to face the graphic?
Now the Bears play who next? Because we just
you said the 49ers because
it would be the Niners. Assuming the Niners beat
let me zoom in.
The Falcons, right?
In this scenario, it would be the Bears going to the Lions and beating them, and then it would be the 7-seed Bears versus the 1-seed San Francisco. And we said that they would beat them, according to the Super Bowl run. So we'd have to do the flip side of the coin. It would be not 2 versus 7, but 3 versus 6. So Green Bay versus the Rams. Eagles versus the Rams. Who wins that?
Eagles.
I'm going to say the Eagles are on a decline, and the Rams might be back on an ascension. So I'd say the Rams.
I like Rams as well because I fucking hate the Eagles.
Yeah.
So Rams.
Let's not let our personal feelings get in the way here. Let's just make an objective.
We're gonna let the personal feelings get in the way here by saying the Bears are gonna win.
Emotional damage.
Correct. Very correct. Fuck Alshon Jeffrey. The Rams being the 4 seed. Not being the 4 seed. They would be the 6 seed. So we have to figure out the Falcons versus the Packers.
And fuck. Packers.
That's the Packers.
Okay.
So the Packers are the 5 seed. So at the same time,
Packers just never go away.
At the same time that the Bears are beating the 49ers,
you're giving me anxiety now, Karl.
The Packers versus the Rams. Yes?
I'll take the Rams over the Packers any day.
Wait a minute.
Why wouldn't you have the Packers winning and having it be a Bears at Lambeau Field NFC Championship? That's
because I can't handle that again.
Well,
I cannot handle the emotional.
We've never seen a Bears at Packers.
I mean, if you're being optimistic,
it was the opposite.
It doesn't matter who the opponent is. Caleb's going to win.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean I can't have anxiety on the way up.
Well, I'm just saying though. You can bring up Strawback.
This is good. I'm the good mediator for this show. I started out by having PJ dragging him into the light about Justin Fields and Caleb Williams. Now Shorty is soaked in the sun. He says Super Bowl victory, but we're showing him what the Bears have to get through, which of course would first be the Lions, then the 49ers, and I'm saying in this scenario it would then be the Packers in Lambeau Field before the Super Bowl.
Man.
On the road.
I never said that there wasn't a road of anxiety to get there.
See, back when I was in Somalia,
the Giants did it.
We had these insurgents coming upon us. I was there in the thicket of things, and I had to come across this enemy soldier. Oh, I'm sorry, I was having a McBride moment.
What's going on here?
Oh, you never had the opportunity of watching Commander McBride as a cartoon as a kid, I take it. So
correct. I probably wasn't even born.
Me either. I'll be honest.
That guy was the funniest guy. He would come up with stories, way wacky stories, just how he was a hero and just out of nowhere. So that's what I was just doing. So only Cliff Victoria and Doug Van Dorn, they'll get the joke, but you guys know.
I'm too young for that, man. I'm about turning 50. I'm way too young for that shit.
No Diddy. I'm too young. No Diddy.
You gonna buy you a Lamborghini there, Karl? Can have you stay at the mansion for a while.
No. I'm about to turn 50. You buy me the Lamborghini. It's my 50th birthday.
No, you're missing one. I'm making a Diddy reference there.
I know. I'm fucking with you.
With Justin, what's his name? Justin Bieber. Yeah.
I was about to say Fields.
No.
Oh, no.
I think it would have turned out different.
Here's the point. Are we okay with this right now? Is this good enough for everyone, or do we need to find the road to where we are up there with the Chiefs? Or is that for another show?
That's for another couple of years.
This is the road. We literally have carved it out. We have to put something out on paper to reference later on, right? So you're saying for the Bears to win the Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback, we would have to go the Giants route. We'd have to sneak in as the 7th seed and win every single game of the playoffs on the road with a rookie quarterback.
That's how we get there, baby.
I would feel more confident as
first team,
the Packers seed, the 5th seed. That would make me a lot more.
We're going to pick up
can we just
Myles Garrett off the waiver wire too?
Can we just pretend that the Packers lose to the Rams? I don't want them in this picture anymore. I'm getting anxiety.
I would rather play I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but what my point was going to be I would rather play the Packers in the NFC Championship than Sean McVay. Yes, the Rams are probably a better opponent, but Sean McVay, man, I don't know.
Hold on, I have to meditate now. I'm
pontificate.
I'm getting no
medicate. You've got the gummies.
I'm getting anxiety from the Packers being in the fucking wild card right now. I have to.
What have I been calling Aaron Rodgers?
Breathe. I have to breathe.
What have I been calling Aaron Rodgers today?
The goes from Christmas past?
The boogeyman. Oh. There's a young Packers fan who might, at my ripe age, might start calling Caleb Williams the boogeyman. You never know.
Well, so far the boogeyman is transferred to a new boogeyman. That's what worries me. We lost 2 games.
The boogeyman is the machine. I'm not sold on Jordan Love whatsoever.
Right. That's correct. The boogeyman is the machine. 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in a row. Then we get the next one. We're like, finally, we're going to win. Nope. We lose both games to them.
That is actually emotional damage going on right now.
That's going to be another audio clip that I have on hand. The boogeyman is the machine. I like it.
Let me just type that down right now.
Yeah, I have to. I'm sorry. I hate hearing my keyboard on the podcast. I apologize. I need to learn how to mute myself.
Cliff Victoria saying Waldron is not Getsy. You are correct.
You are correct, sir. You are correct.
You are correct, sir.
And if you was wondering, you can still get a case of Drippy Dicks.
I thought COVID wiped out that supply chain.
It did, but it's back now.
Drippy Dicks available now?
Yeah.
Chat.
We are, by the way, in the midst of getting an additional like real sponsor. So commercials for that to come. Looking forward to that. It's for
Diddy.
It's for a coffee company where you can get your coffee beans delivered to your house from them. That's the only coffee I drink. So we're gonna.
It has to be coffee beans.
And I don't even drink coffee. So
or ground. But they roast all their own beans in house. And they're available online. Anyone that loves coffee, they're gonna be sponsoring.
If I can guess the sponsor, will you tell me who it is? I don't want to have anything fall through with them.
If you can guess the sponsor, I'll give you 20 free bags of coffee. There's no.
I don't know if this is my guess, but I would be hopeful that it's Black Rifle Coffee. But
nope, it's not.
Damn.
It's a local company. It's local to me. It's a local
Roasted.
company to me.
Roasted nuts.
Yeah.
No Diddy, a Deshaun Watson company.
They're actually beans. They're not nuts.
Oh, roasted beans.
Shorty's off a bean.
Oh, you can tell I don't drink coffee. So that's true. I don't gamble.
But you drink a Ghost. Ghost Energy. # not a sponsor.
I do not drink energy drinks either.
No, you drink a Ghost.
Facetious.
You drink a Ghost in Justin Fields.
Oh, got it.
Your main drink of life right now is a Ghost. It's Justin Fields, the ghost of. Karl had to pull himself to laugh. I thought that's what you were talking about. Well, there's another pat on the back.
Yep, that's in his show. Yep. Good night. Good night.
Oh man.
See. Now he's going to be this. I just want you guys to remember all this.
We don't have to remember. That's why we're recording it and saving it on the YouTube
Just saying.
It's
because when you get so high, then you go crashing down. Shorty.
No, I get so high. I have to get higher.
I am so high. Crack addict.
High.
I want to get high. So high. On the Bears.
Oh my God.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to brace you, my man. Just trying to brace you.
You know, Mayhem, your resident supporter here, is saying if Justin Fields wins the Super Bowl before the Bears, I'll laugh. And I know you will, Mayhem. You're right there with PJ. I'll try. I will. If that happens, if it's because of Justin Fields, I will do one of these to you guys. I promise you.
But see, here's the thing.
You were
I have
correct.
an idea. I have a really good idea, but I'll let PJ go first.
We just can't keep. I mean, I don't want to keep this debate up. I mean, because Caleb's our quarterback. I mean, I'm tempering expectations because when we to your point that you've been saying tonight, Shorty. I mean, we get the media and everybody gets so excited. And then when you have some type of adversity or calamity come his way or underperformance, then they're ready to throw him out with the bathwater. So just bring it down and see where he's at. That's all I'm saying.
So what you were saying, you were playing into my overhype, my Bears fandom, saying that we overreact to things. So
that's
that
what I'm telling you.
That was why you enjoyed that segment, because that plays along to your Justin Fields narrative.
Well, I think that's what happens. I think what happens that every time, we get a new guy come in and we get so hyped about it that everybody gets so excited and have these hefty expectations. And then when they get let down, they're like, oh, well, we got to get rid of him because he's the worst quarterback since what's his name? Bob Avellini.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Yeah. He's worse than Trubisky, for Christ's sake.
Right.
Ooh, imagine saying that this time next year.
Oh God.
Shorty might not even have a pulse at that point. Oh no. I couldn't deal with that. I could not deal with that.
Well, I like to think that we have to give we got to give him time. I mean, we should have given any of our quarterbacks time and give them a chance to have a steady system that they can grow in that accents their attributes as opposed to trying to put a round peg or into a square hole. Or, yeah,
Peg.
that's
No Diddy.
you got me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
a round peg into a square hole.
there you go.
Yeah,
close enough.
I've seen this in chat a lot tonight. It was more in the beginning of the show, but SCC says get Connor Williams and have the number one offense with offensive line depth. What do you guys think about that?
I thought that would be kind of intriguing. Honestly, I thought that would be intriguing.
There's just not a lot of money left after the Bears sign Caleb Williams and Roma
Dunze. Let's not forget there's 2 top 10 picks to sign.
Mr. What's his name, the quarterback who we think is going to end up being okay for the Commanders. His deal was essentially $40 million over 10 years. $40 million over 4 years. So average $10 million a year. Yeah, Jaden Daniels. So Caleb Williams, I don't know if it'll be fully guaranteed, but he's making at least $10 million this year, potentially $12 million.
Now you're looking at Roman Dunze is going to have similar to Justin Fields' contract, which was
it'll be more.
Yeah, a little bit more, but relatively around the same area. He'll make, a couple million more. So. So he'll have, what, $5 million a year on top of that, 4 or 5 million.
Probably 5 or 6.
Yeah, I can look up the numbers in a second, but there's just not going to be a lot of money for Connor Williams.
Yeah. And our defense
unless they back end the deal.
Okay, Ryan Pace. We just got done paying Danny Trevathan, and you want to just jump right back in?
Have you heard about how the Steelers do their contracts? They've been doing this for years. That's how they always do their contracts. It's what pisses everyone off on the Steelers because they've been doing it for years and years. They basically front load it. They pay them all the money up front and like a big payday so that they're always making $3-4 million a year or less for the rest of their contract. So by the time they're into the 3rd or 4th year of that big deal and they're one of the best players in the league, they're making $3 million. I mean, it's your own fault for signing it, but it works in favor of the Steelers. So why not just do it once in a while when it comes to a situation like this? You're not being Ryan Pace. You're just kind of taking from the model of the Steelers in a way.
Wouldn't that just like you'd have to change everything up if you were the Bears? So you'd have to admit to being maybe if to PJ's point, if Caleb Williams doesn't pan out, you could do that. You could change your philosophy. You could sell the team. You could just strip it all down to the ground for a couple years, pay everyone on your roster less than $1 million, earn your 0-17 season, and then start to do that. Sign your big superstar, long contract. First year he makes $75 million in 1 year, and then afterwards you get back to the Steelers level. I don't know. I don't have much to say on that. If I'm being honest.
The Steelers make the playoffs every year. It's kind of a model that, you kind of have to, at the very least, maybe take a little bit from that model. I don't know. In this case,
they don't have a quarterback, and they struggled this year.
So Nate Davis is going to get cut.
Huh?
In my opinion, he's not going to get cut this year because they're going to lose the money.
Okay,
but Nate Davis is not going to play to that contract. So when Nate Davis does not play to his contract because he's clearly shown he doesn't give it. Listen, I'm not talking about his mother's loss. I understand all that. I'm not talking about last year. I'm saying it's a new season. Step up. Get into the game again. Get to know your new teammates. Go to those voluntary OTAs. Get to know the rookie. Get to know your new offensive lineman and just learn the new offensive coordinator too. Get in there and just get the work in and put last season behind you. By him not doing that shows to me he's not going to live up to his contract this year. He's going to get cut. So why not just front load next year's contract from Nate Davis's and go get Connor Williams, pay him, whatever you can now, but here, we're going to pay you next year.
But the issue I see with this, one, I think Ryan Poles should have already known that Nate Davis wasn't one to go to OTAs. Or he never had a history of that. So you want to go out and give this guy this money when he was never one to do that. So now you're questioning his football acumen based upon something he's always done. Secondly, as soon as Pohl came in, he had an opportunity to re-sign James Daniels and just let him walk out the door because he didn't see enough film on him. I would beg to differ. You did see enough film on him, and you could have got him for $8 million a year, which is $2 million a year cheaper than what Nate Davis is getting. So then on top of that, if you're going to let Nate Davis walk next year or at the end of this year, Tevin Jenkins' contract is up also. So who are we paying?
Fair enough.
So there's a whole compoundment of issues when you're not planning it out well enough. So if you knew Davis was not want to go to OTAs and you signed him anyway, don't hold that against him now. And certainly, please don't hold his mother dying against him.
No,
for
of
last
course
year.
not. No,
I'm not talking
Thank
about you. Yeah, I'm not talking about you, Shorty. I'm just talking about imposed position. So I have to see what he does for me on the field. Now, if he sucks on the field, that's a whole nother issue. But I'm not going to hold what happened with him last year against him. And if he's missing OTAs, I can't hold that against him because I already knew that before I signed him because I have somebody from that coaching staff that knows, hey, he's not one to come to OTAs. Well, I want to sign him this $30 million anyway. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's well said, PJ. I think that I wouldn't call it a tragedy. It's a tragedy probably what happened to Nate Davis, but I don't want anyone to feel like that contract was not deserved and that him not playing up to it is his fault. He obviously, you'd want him to be a little bit more mentally strong, but we really can't put ourselves in his shoes perfectly, you know? So I like the comment, too, about having to pay someone, and that someone hopefully is Tevin Jenkins, but we've talked ad nauseum about that as well.
Yeah. To me, Nate Davis's signing was a mistake. It was one of his biggest mistakes to date. If we're gonna, nitpick anything about Ryan Poles, we're gonna have to look at those draft pick or those free agent signings that he failed on miserably. And I think Nate Davis was one of those. I mean, you can say that he historically has not gone to OTAs, but what I'm saying is after a horrific season like he had last year, understandably, you would think you would want to, with a whole new offense, new quarterback, a couple of, new offensive linemen, get involved and show, because that's what I would do. I would want to get involved just to show that, hey, the money that I'm making is worth it to you. And if you're just going to sit back and not be a part of that, the voluntary stuff, which you could be, no matter how you break it down, you're there, you're present. That's enough. And that to me shows that that's one of his worst signings, because that could take away money from, or I'm sorry, it could take away. It already has taken away from us seeing Tevin Jenkins play at a Hall of Fame level at the right guard position next to Devin or Darnell Wright. Those two side by side are fucking awesome. I've said it a million times. I'll say it again. Get down in your stance. Tell the defensive lineman, hey, we're running a power right. Stop it. And they can't. But yet they're going to put Tevin Jenkins at left guard again because they paid Nate Davis to play right guard, and he can't play left guard comfortably. Tevin Jenkins' payday is at right guard, and you're taking away money from out of his family's mouth, and you're taking away potential greatness from the Bears by that one signing.
Well, yeah, I think you have to take into consideration if you go back to that time. Nate Davis was a pivot because he was trying to get McGlinchey. Then McGlinchey's price tag got out of, so they had to do something.
McGlinchey's a tackle, though, right?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, they was trying to get him. Price got too high, so they needed an offensive lineman because Tevin Jenkins at that point was playing left tackle. And then so you're like, okay, if we draft somebody, we can move him to right. Or no, he was already playing right tackle because we already had Braxton. So
I don't know if Tevin Jenkins was ever considered a tackle for the Ryan Poles era, because I think that they also had Larry Borum, who I also think was from the Pace era. But I thought that once Ryan Poles took over for the Bears and Eberflus, I think that Tevin Jenkins was a guard at that point, and they essentially told him they didn't treat him and Jalen Johnson bad, but they tested them, because they knew that those are probably the most likely, and they are obviously the most likely players who have stuck around after the change at guard there, of management. So I think that he came in as a guard, essentially.
Well, but they mentioned him not having the length for their ideal tackle.
Right, his arms are too short or something, yeah.
But Darnell Wright has the same measurables as Tevin Jenkins. So the point being, how true is that? If I have the same measurables, same length arms, so again, the point I'm making. So you bring in, you try to get McGlinchey, couldn't get him, so you get a guard. Then you essentially move a person who you could have had, to Shorty's point, at right guard. You now move him over to left guard because you started a chain reaction. So that's something that Poles did. So for all the Poles lovers, I mean, again, I'm not trying to call him out, but in the same token, I'm trying to be fair about it. He has made things that he had to adjust to, and then wasn't always the best thing to do. Again, bringing in Davis, who I thought actually was decent, because when I thought he brought in Davis, I was like, okay, great. We bring in Davis. We can have Tevin Jenkins as our right tackle. They can both be over there together. But no, they want to move then Tevin over to the left guard, something he's never played before. Took a minute to get used to, did pretty well, but he still have his injury histories. And now Davis is showing us, as far as OTAs, who he is, as far as not always being there. I don't know if it's not being in shape, out of shape. I mean, I don't know what the reasons why he's not there, but there's reasons that he's not there. Now, it's not something that just started this year or last year. It's something that's been persistent in his career, according to what reports will say.
I'm looking at Cliff saying he made a better beef than Portillo's. What, do you have my recipe? Let's talk after the show. I want to know what the hell you did.
What's up, Walt? Walt's in the chat. What's up, Walt?
I like this comment from Walt as well. This kind of screams what I was saying.
Yeah, he was at. Davis was at OTAs, but he wasn't really a full participant. And I remember when they wanted Tevin Jenkins as a certain weight, and they wouldn't let him practice until he got under that weight. So that's probably what's happening with Davis. They probably want him at a certain weight, and because he's not there, they're not practicing him or letting him practice until he gets under that certain weight. And I think therein lies the problem. We have to understand the player we're getting. I mean, I think Darnell Wright was a great find. I mean, his work ethic and all that's great find. I mean, so I got to give Poles credit for that. But in the same token, know who you're getting in Davis. Know who you're letting go in James Daniels when you first get here. Because I thought James Daniels as a left guard could have been a possible Pro Bowler at some point. Now Pittsburgh got him playing right guard, and I'm like, he's better at left guard. But you know what I know? I'm just a guy doing a podcast on a Thursday nights with my friends.
And kind of what CB Sickles says here, with Jenkins was kind of always seen as a guard when he was drafted. I know Pace saw him as a tackle, but that's Pace.
I kind of disagree with that, Walt, because
how?
I thought because he played his best ball at Kansas as a right tackle.
T-Rex arms, though.
Yeah, 35-inch arms.
32 and a half.
Jenkins?
Tevin Jenkins has short arms.
Isn't they 35-inch arms?
I don't believe so.
We're going to do a fact check here.
Let's see if we can come up with it first.
Let's say who's
33 and a half.
33 and a half.
Arm length, yeah.
So he's just on the spectrum.
Okay, so how long is Darnell Wright's arms?
Oh, you're already typing faster than I can get to it. He's like, I got you.
33 and 3/4. for Darnell Wright.
Like I said, him and Wright as well as Jenkins have basically about the same arm.
Hey, it's a half-inch longer span. That's a big difference, PJ.
A whole half inch, oh, big difference.
Hey, you know what that means, right? It makes a difference.
6 inches of daylight. That's all PJ needs, or if that's how they say that.
18 inches, by the way.
I'm more like that.
I know. I was thinking about that the other day. We made that comment. I think Foster was talking very seriously about that comment, and he accidentally said 6 inches. And
I said 6 inches by mistake, and he corrected me with the 18.
But back to what I was saying about Walt's comment, CB Sigel's comment, is that if he was projected as a guard, then why wouldn't he? You're not going to project him as a left guard when he played right tackle his whole career. You're going to project him as a right guard. So, and I understand going into last season that we didn't know how well he was going to play next to Darnell Wright. So I understand the signing of Nate Davis, but I'm still saying it was potentially an oversight of a mistake. Not signing Davis, letting Jenkins play right guard, and maybe having a backup plan for in case he got injured, instead of going out and paying all that huge money to someone to play the position, rather than just let's get our ducks in a row just in case he gets injured. Because, dude, I mean, we all know it. Everyone here in the panel knows how well he played at right guard. All of us do.
However,
it's almost like now we're stuck with having to play someone at right guard who's not as good, and that does nothing for the team.
You guys, I think we're overlooking the fact that, I mean, because I'm hearing what CB Sickles is saying here, that he was projected at guard. Ryan Pace brought him in here to play left tackle.
Ryan Pace. That's Walt's point, is that was Ryan Pace, the crackhead mastermind witch doctor.
But
can I show you the famous clip that helped me fall in love with Tevin Jenkins just real quick, courtesy of Brett Coleman?
The one where he drives
the guys out of bounds.
Just watch, yeah. When you see this play, do you think of a guard or a tackle? Because I don't think of a tackle. You want your tackle coming out all the way and shoving the guy into the bench? I want my guard doing that.
To do that. Yes.
Yes.
Let me just remind you guys, Jonathan Ogden.
Fair play. Jonathan Ogden's a Hall of Famer. He's a great player.
I
want my Mauler to be my guard.
Well, I'm just saying he would make a play like that. Trent Williams, he would make a play like that.
That's the old NFL.
Trent Williams still playing, bro.
Trent Williams is not necessarily. He's a mauler, but his nickname is the Silverback. He's just big. He's an immovable object. He is so talented at pass blocking as well.
You have
Tevin Jenkins has that talent, but Tevin Jenkins is a mauler.
Well, I could see him being a right tackle, not necessarily.
I see Tevin Jenkins as more of a mauler than Trent Williams.
Well, I thought Tevin. I mean, given his height, being 6'5" plus, and I thought he could be a right tackle. I really thought he could be a right tackle.
Tevin Jenkins?
Yes, I thought he could be a right tackle.
He's a talented player. He can pass block. I think that's why he's on the left, is because he's a better pass blocker than Nate Davis. So you want the blind side more protected.
Well, that's the point being, I just think that, again, because of all these type of moves and one move affecting another move, you have to move Tevin Jenkins from the right side to the left side based upon you signing Nate Davis, as opposed to, like I said, if you would have just went ahead and kept James Daniels, and you could have kept him on the left side and been set. But, again, one decision affects another decision, which goes on down the line. And that's therein lies the problem that we have.
The mindset was that the Bears had a lackluster, not as good offensive line with your combination of Cody Whitehair, who still stayed on the team all these years, and the guy you just mentioned on the Steelers. James Daniels.
James Daniels, yes.
I think that James Daniels was fine, and he was another player you could have re-signed, but the Bears brought in a new regime. We were lucky to have kept Tevin Jenkins, in my opinion, with that philosophy, because there's only a handful, 5 at most, players from that regime left.
And that's what I have a problem with most new regimes. They come in and want to get their own guys in, and it's like you get rid of talented players, useful players that we can use to just bring in your own guy for the sake of bringing in your own guy. And that to me is not the way to go.
Well, I mean, they needed to flip the switch. They traded away Khalil Mack because they didn't feel like they were ready to win. They essentially did the same thing, in my opinion, with Roquan Smith. He was, again, to your no Diddy comment, the square peg in a round hole, didn't fit the defense, whatever the case is.
Well, I disagree with that part because I think they wanted to keep him, but because they couldn't agree on salary, that's why they let him go, because there's a difference between letting a guy go because he doesn't fit and then letting a guy go because, well, we ain't going to agree on the contract, so let me get something for him.
Yeah, I like Cliff's point here, and I don't know if you feel any differently about this, PJ, but I agree that when healthy, the only all-pro talent the Bears have on the offensive line, with all due respect to Darnell Wright, is Tevin Jenkins.
It's kind of a toss-up for me between those two. I think Darnell Wright has the ability or the potential to be something really, really great.
He could change my mind this year for sure. I think that if he improves on last year and shows it even more this year, the two best, is it right tackles in the NFC or in the NFL, could be in the same division, Darnell Wright and Penei Sewell, because I'm pretty sure Penei Sewell plays right tackle, not left tackle.
Yes.
So it's a very real possibility, assuming the player stays healthy and continues to ascend.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to Shorty. I think
he went to go take a bathroom break, I believe.
Okay, it was an abrupt break, but that's fine by me.
Well, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Trust me, I know all too well about that. I already have my first-hand experience with that.
We want to talk about no potty pants now.
I'll see if I can get that clip on. Maybe that's what Dan can do if he's going to listen in on this, because he said he's going to get me back for this lovely photo. This guy right here.
Wait, what did you just say about me?
You said that you were going to get me back for this photo.
Oh, I will.
So one option you have is my near potty experience on the episode with Lester.
Oh,
yeah. Potty pants. Potty pants.
I don't know. It wasn't like egregious. It wasn't anything crazy like this. I didn't have that moment on stream. So.
That was me making fun of PJ's look on his face during something. And then, look, it's just, you're fired.
Real quick, I want to go back to football for a second because of according to what we was talking. But Scottish Bear, he brings up a good point. He said Jenkins probably would be more durable if he played at tackle. He actually never got the chance to play tackle underneath. Either one, because he was hurt under pace. And then when Poles got here in training camp or OTAs, he was moved to guard. So, Poles wanted his own guy. I mean, again.
And PJ, the Scottish Bear wasn't like a regular at the time, and Karl wasn't here. But we were talking about this in real time that Tevin Jenkins, with his neck injuries, it would be in the beginning of his career, which have kind of still transpired, even that guard, right? And we were talking about
the
moving
back, not the neck, but
it was his back. But we were talking about as a tackle, you're standing up more, so you're more like pushing against rather than going up into. So that could cause, more damage to your spinal issues or your neck issues, whatever. And it has kind of translated into that. We've seen the neck issues recently. So it kind of has.
The action comes about you, to your point, Shorty. The action comes at you faster when you're at guard as opposed to
rather than stepping back from.
Well, the guys are merely inches away from you when you're playing guard as opposed to when you're playing tackle.
They hit helmets and drive up into each other.
So let me just recap for our audio listeners. It is 10:46 on a Thursday evening, and I'm listening to grown men talk about a large man be a couple inches away from another man and drive into him. Is that correct?
You're correct, but we're not talking about penetrating any holes.
On that note, I just want to say...
how many inches of daylight are we talking about?
The game of football has the most sexual innuendos you could ever imagine, compared to other sports.
I mean, in basketball,
He's
you could
penetrating
take
the
a
hole.
shot and you could rim out.
Yeah. That's about it.
It can rim out, not you can rim out. Come on now. Come on, man.
It's called goaltending. I don't know much about
Goaltending
anything
is
of
not
basketball.
as severe as like penetrating the hole. That is total sexual innuendo right there.
You could
Tight
try and
end.
get deep inside their paint.
Tight ends and wide receiver, to VHS's point. Duck Van Doren.
Proud of you. Rubbed off. Perfect. There you go.
Yeah, it totally has. Tight ends. The tight end is going wide, and they're penetrating the hole.
Tight ends never penetrate the hole. By the way, I just want to put that out there.
No, they don't.
You could have a pulling tight end that's the lead blocker. It's very possible, especially in this Shane Waldron offense where we keep. I need to get video footage of this. Someone keeps saying. I think it's Shorty rather keeps saying that Martellus. Sorry, I'm stammering here.
Yeah, we're coming to an end. We're gonna do
the
some
old tight
trivia in a
end.
minute.
Mercedes Lewis. You think that Mercedes Lewis is going to be a fullback?
Listen, Coach B, who's a defensive coordinator, was here at my house this past weekend. That's where I'm going. So next week we are off. I mean, at least I'm off. If you guys want to do a show on 4th of July, you're welcome to, but I'm not doing it. I'm going to be on vacation.
Are you going to be penetrating the hole?
I'm going to be at Coach B's lake house, penetrating his lake.
Goodness gracious.
But
his water park?
He's a defensive coordinator.
Coach B's water park?
Yes. I'm going to make him squirt in his lake. When I hop in his lake, it's going to squirt all over me.
BCP.
So he's a defensive coordinator. We sat there the other night. He was here this past weekend. And we sat there with, ironically enough, beer cans. And we lined up beer cans all over the patio table. We're hanging out at 2:00 in the morning. I said, okay, here's my T-form formation that I have designed within my offense. And as a defensive coordinator, he's going, okay, well, I would do this. And I go, okay, I don't know that you're going to do that, but if I see you doing that, I've already set you up for me to do this. And one of those things is, yes, Mercedes Lewis becoming a blocker. He doesn't have to be. He's a good blocker. You move him out into a space that he becomes a blocker from a fullback position. You could take your entire. So here's an example I gave him. You can line up in a 3 tight end set with one wide receiver, one running back. Okay, so now you have 2 tight ends on the right. I don't know if this is legal or not, but you take the inside tight end and you put him in motion left, and he goes over to the other tight end spot. He goes out to the opposite of. So now he's the second tight end on the right. So you went from a strong formation right to a strong formation left, right? But now the outside tight end was in an upright position. He wasn't down on the line. So now you put him in motion. That's where I don't know if it's legal or not. If you can put 2 guys from the same side in motion. If I'm wrong, correct me, someone in chat that knows this. So now you have 1 tight end down on the right, goes into motion. Now you have 2 tight ends down on the left. The tight end up on the right, you put him in motion. He goes to the left. So now he's going, okay, I'm going to move this guy over here, and I'm going to match you on the left side, the right side of the defense, but the left side of the offense. And I go, perfect. Now I'm going to do like a zone blocking scheme where I'm going to pull those 2 tight ends.
If the Scrody fits,
and I'm going to pull those 2 tight ends to the right while my entire offensive line goes to the right. And we're going to do like a sweep zone to the right running back. And if that's not going to work, then now we have another option built into that where now we can turn that into a pass. So now we can just keep everyone pulling to the left, but Caleb rolls to his right and hits like the receiver on the left on like a dig route. There's so much you can listen. I'm not saying I've said this forever. Anyone that knows me on the podcast knows that I love the T formation. I don't want it to be our main offense, but why not have
you lost me a T formation, sir?
3? Why not have 2 or 3 T formation plays within the offense that can be motioned into different versions of it that you can use? You can make 15 different plays out of one formation.
Me personally, I can't take that level of disrespect.
Somebody's going to bring it back. Some geniuses. It's a cyclical league, dude. Right now we're in the depths of the passing league. Some fucker is going to bring it back to a running league. It's already starting with Kyle Shanahan. How many times have we seen him beat the Packers, beat so-and-so, just running the ball down their throats? He's using some version of these kind of these zone blocking schemes. He's using a running back. Velus Jones, he's one of those guys. We can turn him into whatever his name is that they have, that comparable receiver that they have who plays running back. You can go from Velus Jones in a wide receiver set to becoming a blocking or a running back in a T formation set that you motion into, and you can totally destroy the other team's thought process because you don't know what the hell we're going to do from that.
You know what I do know?
Fucking rocket science, man. It's about fooling people. And what fools people the most? That the T formation is not being used. So and why not bring it back as the Bears, who started it basically?
Let me tell you this.
Let me finish. Don't let somebody else take that from you, Bears. You do it. You do it. You bring back the T formation. I'm done.
And I just want to add one thing to that beautiful statement that he just made. That is 7 minutes of your life that you will not get back.
I want to get that clip in front of Sean McVay and just have him laugh his ass off.
No matter how hard you try, you cannot get that 7 minutes back.
I was going to start typing this, but I'm just going to respond. So Scottish Bears said Shorty Getsy used it. Shorty Getsy right-hand man. No. Where was it? Oh, Waldron does multiple tight ends similar to T formation. What else is it? Jim Harbaugh will do it, Shorty. Matt Nagy, you're not used to this. So anytime that anyone says Matt Nagy, you're gonna have
I know what you're gonna go for.
I'm not even gonna get into that. I have zero thought.
This fucker right here used the T formation on the first play, the very first play of his career against the Packers, and it worked.
And what did he say?
And he never used it again.
What did he say?
I'm not even going to get into that. I have zero thought.
Yeah, he has zero thought. That's why he never used it again.
What he said was, I was not brought here to run the T formation.
No, I was not brought here to run the I formation.
Oh,
run the fucking T formation.
IT.
Listen, it worked. Is my point. It was I remember seeing. I was giddy. I was a giddy little boy when they ran the T formation, the first play against the Packers, and it actually worked. Why not add it to your repertoire? And if you're going to do it, you might as well be the first one to do it again, Bears. Add it to your repertoire. Put in don't cut Velus Jones. Put him in it. He's the package where he's the running back now. You might think it's going to Roshan or Khalil Herbert or Swift. No, it's going to Velus Jones. But now you're thinking Velus Jones is going to run the ball because he's in that package all the time. Now you fucking throw it. What is so difficult about this?
I stand corrected.
Sorry,
it is now 10 minutes of your life that you will get back.
I'll give you 5 more if you let me. CB, the T formation works simply because the other team will be rolling on the field laughing. Yes, you're right. If it works then it works. That's all that matters is it worked.
At the end of the day, that's all that matters. Because to date, we have now realized that Shorty has gotten giddy over the T formation. Caleb Williams being the number 1 overall pick.
Well, no. I was calling for it with Justin as being a
I wasn't finished.
Sorry.
Tyson Bagent getting into play and have that serious workout over the off season, lifting those homemade weights there. Justin Fields actually running for a few touchdowns there. Hey, Shorty.
Listen, my brain went like deep into the T formation because of your guy, PJ. We had a quarterback who was
serious.
He was not a quality. He wasn't a superstar quarterback, but what he was a superstar running quarterback. So all the different fucking crazy formations you could have destroyed defenses with him running or passing from, he was the perfect version of a T formation quarterback. Now I'm like waning a little bit because I'm not sure if Caleb Williams fits that mold, but he does have the mobility and the scrambility that that Justin Fields had, but he also has the arm strength. So you add he also has a little bit different element than Justin Fields had as a passer. So you add that element to the T formation. Now I think it could really work. It could really work because it's not the T formation was really about the quarterback was basically a running back at the time, which would have worked perfectly for Justin Fields. But now you have that added like dimension of deceit and weaponry and someone who can just sling the ball across his the wrong direction of his body 65 yards down the field because everyone thinks it's a running play. So why not do it? Why not be the one to bring it back?
Let me just interject here from your 15 minutes of fame now and say that
fame, thank you.
Yes. And say that Justin Fields was not known as a running quarterback until he came to the Bears. He was actually known for a pocket passer at Ohio State. So
I know, but what I'm saying by year two.
But what I'm saying is, so he's not. I mean, so you're saying that the T formation is made for. He wasn't that guy, and I don't agree with the statement that he's a better running quarterback than he is a quarterback. I think the fact that being a regular pocket quarterback got him picked number 11 overall. So not being a running quarterback.
I'm agreeing with you. Yes, but by year two, he almost broke the record for a running quarterback.
Agreed.
So why not in that year have brought back the T formation into the offense with that style of play? And that could have helped him into year three, and we could still be sitting here with your guy as our quarterback because of the T formation, because he made it work. And he learned within it and became a better passer from it. We failed him. If you want to ask me, I'll tell you why we failed Justin Fields. Because we didn't play the T formation with him. Dropping the mic. I'm dropping the mic.
Okay, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate you guys coming out. Have a good night.
You're welcome, Mr. Mayhem.
Karl was a smart guy.
You guys, in like 3 years, if they bring back the T formation and it works, you're gonna be like, everyone is gonna. And I don't want the recognition for it. I want the Bears to have it. Just bring it back. For crying out loud, it's time. It's cyclical. We're in a passing offense right now. Let's fuck them up with something different. The T formation. With the T formation, bear down. Right?
PJ removed himself. I can't believe that you lost 20 minutes of your time on this precious earth. After the Bears selected Caleb Williams as the first overall pick, to scream and pound the table for the T formation. I don't know about that, man.
Why?
I feel like the T formation was designed in the precedent that you have a hat on a hat, right? So if there's movement in the blocking, whatever the case is, you have a man on a man, everyone's blocked up, maybe you have one man isolated and free, and you're trying to get the quarterback to be the better athlete or in a better spot.
Yes.
That was back in the 50s? I can't remember.
20s, 30s, 40s.
So now the NFL has these absolute elite athletes. There is just simply no way that even a Jack Sanborn is not a superior speedy athlete to the average offensive lineman.
But
they're going to get to where you want to block before the blockers are there.
You use speed against speed. You get their speed going the wrong direction. That's it. It's just misdirection. That's all it is. Yes.
Use play action. What do the Rams do? The Rams are a heavy run offense. And all you'll ever see with Goff, with Stafford, are these crazy fake handoff rollouts. That's your modern day T formation, your misdirection. I think that McVay has mastered that.
What I want to do on the show, which is what I've actually thought about doing.
About this T formation?
Yes. What I want to do on the show, and we'll devote a show to this, of play designs, and we'll do it live on the screen with a T formation, and I'll have all of you guys, I'll have every one of you in chat say what you think you should do. All you guys on the panel to say what you think your defensive scheme would be to what I'm presenting to you in the T formation.
I think that the only T this channel needs is Nugenics Total T, lacking some testosterone. We got to get something different than the T formation, man.
What? You still talking about the T formation?
I thought you went to the bathroom when you took a break. You seem to have delved into the gummies. Going crazy. Yeah, leather helmets.
What do you guys say? Should we do a show with play designs from the T formation?
You just can't do it.
And it worked. And it worked. Doug Van Dorn, let's have a vote. The T formation or the fridge picks up the running back and carries him across the goal line play?
Now that would work. That would work. I don't know.
Are we talking about football now?
Well, it's always football, but a different era. Way before my time.
Man.
We're gonna have a show. Let's do it next week.
You're not gonna be here next week, you said.
Okay, in 2 weeks, let's do it. There's nothing to talk about right now.
How are we gonna draw this up?
Let's
on
talk
a
about the
notepad?
information.
Like on a paint file?
Yeah, we'll do it in Canva. We'll pull up a Canva. We'll have all of the numbers and all the offensive linemen with their numbers, and we'll put them in different formations, and I'll have you guys see if you can stop the play.
Is crack cocaine really dangerous to your health?
No, it's gummies, PJ, and weed's getting legalized all over. So,
dude, you know what I got in the mail?
Is LSD really as bad as people say?
I got this in the mail.
Make sure your address isn't on there. 100% legal THC.
And then
PJ's pontificating.
Is heroin really
here
bad?
Without showing my address?
You down with PCP?
This is what's on the backside. All the things you can buy.
Down with PCP?
Not that I'm on gummies, but I wish I was right now.
They just haven't.
Let's do X's and O's and show. Yes, I will. I'll show you how the T formation can beat the modern defense right now. Put yourself in a nickel, doesn't matter. Put yourself in a dime, doesn't matter. There's going to be somebody bigger to block you if you're in a dime.
But they'll get to where they need to be before the blocker.
So does heroin work better with you in your veins?
If you use their speed against them, it won't.
In your wrist.
Now you're just talking Sean McVay.
Thank you. I'm talking like a genius. Oh, I appreciate the compliment.
Sean McVay is using the speed against you, and he's not running the T formation.
But Sean McVay's offense will only work so long until the T formation comes back. It's cyclical.
No, the rules of the NFL have changed. Why would you want to just bang your head against the wall and T formation your way 3-4 yards at a time when you literally can't be touched until you're 5 yards down the field? And you have these elite athletes who run 4.3 speeds. It's never going to go back.
At some point, you just have to say no to drugs.
That's that Delta 9 shit. I love VHS, man.
Actually, VHS, Doug Van Dorn, it's not. What they're doing now is they're taking hemp and they're growing it to like 35% THC. Then they're putting it into a like some kind of they're hydrating it or hydrogenating it. They're turning the T molecule into a hydrogen molecule. And
the T molecule,
the T
formation and the T molecule.
The T formation molecule becomes an H molecule, and therefore you are able to burn it to smoke it. But once you burn it, it decarboxylates it back into the same thing that the T molecule burned into. So you get high off of that when you smoke it. Therefore, you can't take the HHC and decarboxylate it, meaning bake it in the oven at 250 degrees for 2 hours, or burn it with a lighter and turn it into an edible. So then they have to use the pharmaceutical grade Delta 8 or Delta 9. I'm not sure exactly what we're talking about either. But that's what makes it an edible. HHC is currently what they're selling in that flyer in the mail that causes you to be able to burn it and smoke it and get high. But once you burn it, it decarboxylates it. It turns the T molecule into the same molecule as the H molecule once it's burned.
Spaghetti, motherfucker, spaghetti. Yeah.
And as PJ is yawning into that subject,
let's just make one thing perfectly clear. Crack is bad for you.
Crack kills.
You have to find Karl, that short clip of Whitney Houston making that statement saying, let's get one thing perfectly clear. Crack is bad for you, or something along those lines. Because that's 25 minutes.
Is that before or after she died in the bathtub?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Because, it's kind of hard for me to die in my bathtub by myself when all my fingernails are broken off.
Huh? Correct, CB. They bond the hydrogen molecule to the T molecule. The it goes from tetro to hydro, so it goes from 3 to 2, and it becomes the same thing when decarboxylated, which means turned into an edible by baking, or by lighting it with a lighter and smoking. That's all that does. When you smoke weed, the T molecule burns away, and the rest of the other two molecules are what condenses into your lungs and gets you high. Therefore, you cannot bake it to make the T to remove the T molecule. You have to use the pharmaceutical grade of it, which is the Delta 8.
Doug Van Dorn, I love you, man. That's all I got to say.
VHS is the man.
But is that as bad for you as a T formation? Of all people, Doug, this entire rant, I thought, Doug's going to be on my side. Doug's got me on this.
Man.
So I just want what's the Native American panel. Bring back everyone say yes or no right now. Should the Bears bring back the T formation as one segment of their offense, not the entire offense, just one segment? Yes or no?
Damn it.
Thigh says no. That's you, by the way, Karl. Karl says no. Eduardo says yes. Thank you, Eduardo. CB Sickles says no.
Uh-oh.
And he says no again. and no again.
Uh-oh.
DVD says yes. So now we have 2 yeses and 1 no. Oh, 2 no's. Oh.
Seems that this podcast says that we should not.
Nope, that's PJ. So now we got 3 and 3. Mayhem says no. That's 4 no and 3 yes. Come on, keep it coming, guys. Yes or no? T formation, not the whole offense.
This sounds like a perfect opportunity for a Twitter poll. Just saying.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, the guys on Twitter. Why don't you let me hear you guys up there in Twitter, because
but I mean, like, you'd have to go onto Twitter.
Anything to save me from this conversation.
Mayhem says nope.
Please.
I can end this conversation right now.
Please.
That's 1,
please.
2, 3 no's. That's 1, 2. If yes.
Please. Please. Please.
Mr. Mayhem's on a cold streak. He says Justin Fields is our quarterback, and then recently had an Italian beef from Portillo's, and it wasn't that good.
Mayhem, I had two beefs when I was in Illinois. They sucked.
Shitty beef.
Shitty beef, not shitty walk. Shitty beef.
Shitty walk.
If you're familiar with
South Park.
South Park.
Shitty walk, the fabled restaurant chain. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Charles Johnson.
When I used to smoke weed.
HIJK.
I don't smoke weed, but when I do, it's not HHC.
There
wasn't anything left to turn it into an H, an L, or J, or a K molecule.
We need to get Shorty on like an ESPN 1000 radio so he can shoot the shit, and then hopefully it comes off well regarding the T formation, and then you guys can be sponsored by Nugenics Total T. And then you could have a dedicated video, not even live, just record it, get it all spruced up with our...
It sounds like we're sponsored by him now. You said that.
Hashtag not an ad. Legal disclaimer. We are not... I don't know if you guys have any testosterone boosters. I'm not there just yet, but I'm good.
Atmos, thank you for joining us tonight. We're about to wrap this up anyway. A couple of trivia questions for you guys, and then we're out of here. We appreciate you for joining us tonight, Atmos. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Good time!
Hanging out with us during a presidential debate. Thank you, Atmos.
It's over.
Okay. These questions are straight from the calendar that my wife got me. And
any wives in chat? Any wives?
Maybe the one woman who was here earlier. Okay.
Chill.
With 76 stops.
I can see that in her future.
Chill.
Yeah.
Chill.
Yeah. So
chill.
Pause.
Yes.
Pause.
I can visualize it. I can see it coming to fruition at a Bears Vikings game. A magical proposal happening.
There's no like way for either of us to be happy. So
we'll be like the Bears cuckold to the Vikings fans, right? All right.
Speak for yourself.
Or the other way around.
Huh?
So, with 76 stops, who was the leading tackler in the Bears secondary in 2021?
76 tackles?
In 2021.
2021 was Poles or Pace? I don't even know at this point. It felt like it was the first year of Poles.
It was last year of Pace.
Yeah.
It was the last year? Because 2022, 2023, now this is the third year. So the last year of the Bears' quote-unquote good defense of 2018. It was not a playoff team, was it?
No.
2021, no.
They lost in the playoffs against the Saints the year before.
They were terrible that year, yeah.
I don't know. My guess is just going to be Kyle Fuller.
He wasn't even on the team.
Nope.
Damn it.
You're wrong.
Damn it.
I wouldn't say it was
76 tackles in the secondary in 2021.
76 tackles?
Secondary.
It was the secondary. CB.
76 tackles.
I don't know this answer because I have to turn it upside down to read it, but I'm going to say
I'm trying to remember who was the strong safety opposite of Eddie Jackson.
There was a HaHa Clinton Dix experiment. There was a Tashawn Gibson experiment. I don't know if it was Tashawn Gibson.
Tashawn Gibson.
That's my answer too. Chat. Eddie Jackson. Ooh.
The guy who couldn't tackle. Interesting.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
That was my first guess too, but I just couldn't believe that was going to happen. But...
Yeah, same.
Trivia question number 2.
In
1961,
I'm out.
the number 5 overall pick from Pittsburgh became the first of 3 Bears in 5 years to be named the Associated Press's NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. I don't know this one.
1961?
In 1961, the number 5 overall pick from Pittsburgh. What does that mean?
That's Foster music.
Became the first of 3 Bears in 5 years to be named the AP's NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year? I'm lost. I'm just going to look.
I'm going to say Willie Gallimore.
Nope.
Khalil Herbert.
Dick Gordon.
Mike fucking Ditka.
Oh,
Next question.
Walt got that.
Who handled the Bears' long snapping chores in every regular season game for the 4th consecutive season in 2021?
Patrick Manley.
Nope. The guy we got, Scales.
Patrick Scales is my answer.
Yeah, Patrick Scales.
Oh, Manley was with the team for such a long time.
Before that.
So yeah, it had to have been Scales. Correct.
I'm making a comeback.
Next question. What reserve linebacker posted 7 tackles on kick coverage for the Bears in 2021 after the team signed him as a undrafted rookie free agent out of Houston Baptist? Linebacker posted 7 tackles on kick coverage in 2021 after becoming a UDFA.
Number
It can't be Sanborn, right?
No, not in 21. Short guy.
That's a good one.
It was a short guy.
Reserve
When I say
linebacker,
short, I'm talking like
7
6'2".
tackles, kick coverage for the Bears in 2021.
Clearly says linebacker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Reserve
Number-
linebacker.
Oh
Number-
my God! No, it wasn't.
Number
Iggy.
40.
It wasn't Iggy, was it? There's no way it was Iggy.
No.
He was
I
a
think his number
draft
was-
pick. He wasn't undrafted.
His number was number 47, I believe.
Yeah, Iggy was 45. I want to say.
Oh, he wasn't undrafted.
Undrafted, yes.
No, Iggy was not undrafted. We drafted
Correct.
him in like the
Yeah,
fourth,
I
fifth round.
know Iggy's not my answer or
Oh.
the answer. Iggy was a draft pick.
Thinking like Mike Wright or something like that. Like it was.
I don't have the answer to this one.
That's a good one. Caleb Johnson.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I don't remember him.
These are all from 2021. This is weird.
Okay.
What was the Bears nominee? Who was the Bears nominee for Walter Payton Man of the Year in 2021?
What's with all this 2021 stuff?
I don't know.
Was that the modern year when you got that?
No. The next one's from 2009. So
Ooh, I'm excited about that one.
2021.
the nominee for Walter Payton Man of the Year in 2021. I'm going to say
It's been Cole Kmet, right?
no, not in 2021.
No, like the most recent years. No, it was not. Was it? I don't know. I can't remember if I'm being honest.
2020.
Doug Van Doren says Cody White here.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I like that answer, honestly.
Jimmy Graham's a good one.
He was a nominee at one point.
Jimmy Graham.
I'm going to say
Yes.
Jimmy Graham too.
Yeah, I go with you, Walt. Yeah, Jimmy
You are
Graham.
correct, Walt. Jimmy Graham.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember them doing a special on that one. Yes, Jimmy Graham.
With what AFC team did the Bears head coach Matt Eberflus begin his coaching career as linebackers coach in 29?
Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas.
We say AFC team?
AFC team, yeah.
Who was
Linebackers
with
coach in
Dallas?
2009.
He was with Rod Marinelli.
Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland sounds okay to me.
Yeah, I'll say Cleveland.
Scottish Bear says Dallas.
Dallas was an AFC team.
Yeah, AFC.
2009. I want to say Cleveland.
I'm going to say Cleveland too.
I like Cleveland.
Answer? Cleveland.
Who is this guy?
All right.
You are not him.
This is from 1956.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
out.
Foster.
Where you at, Foster?
Right.
What quarterback completed an NFL best 57.1% of his passes while earning his second consecutive Pro Bowl berth for the Western Division champion Bears in 1956? I'm going to say Sid Luckman.
Yeah, it's so easy to just say Sid Luckman.
Nope, it ain't Sid Luckman.
NFL leading at less than 60%.
I'll say Lane.
Yeah, because Luckman was the 40s, wasn't he?
Yep.
Couldn't tell
He
you.
was 40s. I say Lane, the quarterback that we traded to Detroit.
Oh my God.
Ed Brown.
Oh my God.
Fuck was that? All right, one more. Last one, guys. What player ranked 6th amongst all NFL qualifiers in 2021?
Say it again.
What player ranked 6th amongst all qualifiers in 2021 when he averaged 24.1 yards on his 27 kickoff returns for the Bears? I'm going to say
Grant.
Jakeem Grant.
Grant.
No, it couldn't be Cordero Patterson, could it? Patterson was before then. Because we learned that 2021 was the last year of the
Yeah, I
pace
say
experiment.
Yeah,
I like a Grant. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Jakeem Grant.
You want another shot at that one?
All right.
Let me say it again. What player ranked 6th amongst all NFL qualifiers in 2021 when he averaged 24.1 yards on his 27 kickoff returns for the Bears?
Khalil Herbert.
Yeah.
Correct, Mundo. I have 2 left. You want to just keep doing them?
Hey, might as well, because I'm on a roll.
You are correct, CB. What former Texas star posted 92.5 sacks in 191 regular season games for the Bears from 81 to 93?
Henry Melton.
81 to 93.
81 and 93.
I don't know.
Hold on.
Former Texas star, 92.5 sacks in 191 regular season games for the Bears from 81 to 93.
They're saying Richard Dent, but I thought Richard Dent was
I'm going to say
undrafted.
I'm going to say Mongo McMichael.
No, he was Bears didn't draft McMichael. Did he say the Bears drafted this guy?
No.
What Texas? The University of Texas?
What former Texas star posted 92.5 sacks
Does
in
that mean
190
University of Texas?
Yeah.
Okay.
191 regular season games for the Bears from 81 to 93.
Singletary had all those sacks?
No.
Singletary played for the Bears.
Baylor. He played for Baylor.
Bears, yeah.
But
Eduardo
Mongo seems to be a good answer.
I say Dent.
I'm going Mongo.
Mongo didn't go to.
It's Mongo.
Steve McMichael. Nice. Good job, Eduardo Isaac Rodriguez.
Hey, good job, my
Hell
man.
of a name, by the way, buddy.
We should have like a giveaway for like free coasters or something when somebody wins these. That'd be fun. Last one.
With THC on them or the T formation
Oh,
on the coaster.
oh.
You're damn right. Last question. What speedy return man made the Pro Bowl averaging 13.9 yards on 18 punt returns and 23.5 yards on 21 kick returns for the Bears in 2021? What the fuck's with these 2021 questions? I don't know.
I don't like it. Yeah.
Say it again.
Say it again.
Speedy return man made the Pro Bowl after averaging 13.9 yards on 18 punt returns and 23.5 yards on 21 kick returns in 2020. I'm going to say Jakeem Grant.
Grant made the Pro Bowl, and Herbert did not make the Pro Bowl in 21.
Yeah, Grant.
Jakeem Grant.
That's correct.
I just want to say, guys, thank you very much. I think between me and Walt, we won it. So
Yeah, you guys did.
Agreed.
all right, before we end this podcast, I do have a question. What was the last meal you cooked lately?
Taco Bell Crunchwrap.
My wife made turkey tacos the other night. Oh,
You did Taco Bell.
I legitimately made a Crunchwrap, though. I didn't buy one from Taco Bell. I made one with a Taco Bell seasoning packet. But
Okay. And you said your wife made what, Shorty?
well, she made these turkey tacos a couple weeks ago, and they were so good. I had her. She made them again. I never thought that turkey meat tacos would be good.
For those of you in the back, I want to repeat the question. What was the last meal you made?
Me. Oh, It was a Wagyu burger on Saturday.
Wow.
It was a smash burger, Wagyu burger. I finely minced some portobello mushrooms in it with some green peppers and green onions. I'm talking like barely visible, even finely minced. Smash burger that on the grill on a skillet.
Let's get to the chat and see what they made.
Smash
Doug Van
burger
Dorn.
sounds so good.
Doug Van Dorn says he made an inch-thick New York strip steak, medium rare.
Well, I was going to say it's 12:30 on the East Coast, and Cliff Victoria is putting up his Italian beef.
I'll put up my Italian beef against any of your meals.
Cliff,
I'm offering his beef.
I'm going to show you this, Cliff.
Hold on. Here you go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so I go out and buy a 25-pound inside roast, and I roast it in a big Inesco roaster with garlic and Italian or oregano and some other seasonings. And then I take it and I put it on a professional meat slicer, and I meat slice it paper thin, and then I turn I make the au jus out of what's left over in the pan. And then I call this my poor man's Italian beef, because my first job was at a beef place, so I know how to make this. So, but without having, so I ran out of the rolls. So you can go buy Toronto Italian bread from any Aldi. Aldi sells them, and it's this Toronto are the rolls that they make the Italian beefs from. So Toronto makes this Italian bread. So if you put it in a panini maker with some mozzarella cheese and some giardiniera peppers, I would recommend buying like Marconi online, or even like Vienna giardiniera works really well. You put that in a panini maker and you make yourself a poor man's Italian beef. Then you dip it in that au jus. Wow. I'd love to go up against your Italian beef any day of the week, Cliff. You're a great chef, but I got you beat on this one.
CB Sickle says, I made Tuscan stuffed chicken with orzo with cherry tomatoes and spinach.
Damn.
Charles Johnson says, pan seared swan cauliflower and peppers and pasta.
Ooh, that sounds delicious. Oh, I love that, Cliff. When the beef flavor is left over in your mouth for like a couple hours, you're like, damn, that tastes good.
Whoa. Just no bitty.
Yeah.
Here's the key to, if you don't have any means. So the key, if you can't make an Italian beef because the bread doesn't work for you, because you need to have that Toronto roll that can absorb all that moisture, here's how you make the au jus. Go get yourself a ribeye. Okay. Cut out all the fat and just keep the meat, put it aside and make that a steak later. Cut out all the fat and pan sear that fat in a pan to like a cast iron.
Sear that fat.
Get it all like to where it's like sticking to the pan. It's like getting like caramelized on the pan and like almost burning. And then you add some like beef stock to that. That's going to turn that. The key to that picture that I showed you is having, if you look in the au jus, you can see the fat like right here. It's like it's on the surface. You can see like a little bit of
fat.
The dots.
Mm-hmm. That's what makes the Italian beef, is that delicious fat flavor in there. You can easily add the bread up here and just go get some. Go to your local
jelly, because jam show don't shake like that.
Go to your local deli and ask them to like finely shave some Italian beef or some beef for you. Just be like, find whatever, get like a boar's head beef and just have them finely shave it. Okay. But then you go get a ribeye and you take all the fat off. You sear the shit out of that fat to build that flavor. Then add some beef stock to it. Sear it with some oregano and garlic. Add the beef stock to it, and then you'll create this broth. Then you can just take your finely shaved Italian, or your beef that you got from the deli. Just go get like any kind of like Italian bread, even like Italian roll that you would like cut up for like spaghetti or whatever. You can make mini ones out of it if that's all you have, and then you make it dry. You sear it on both sides on the grill. Put your meat in there. Put the mozzarella in there. I would recommend getting a jardiniere from like Vienna Beef or.
I'll get back to you in a minute, Chad. Go ahead, Shorty.
And just dip that in that au jus. Oh, damn, so good.
Okay, El Gordo with the pork belly on the smoker. That's what he did. There, who else we got? CB Sickles.
No, Charles, you cut out the meat from the ribeye and you just make a steak out of it. Just cook that tomorrow. You're just using the fat. That's my point. Go ahead.
I thought he lagged out for a second.
What?
I was trying to get to the chat, but US they give this Glenn Morgan
question.
You're just going to give this Glenn Morgan's long answer. I got to add Kenneth Davis to that long answer.
Adam Rank.
Adam Rank.
Oh, Adam Rank. Oh, yeah.
Adam Rank never let us talk.
So, yeah. CB Sickles said.
Wait, so then you go like this.
Look at Scottish Bear.
Ribeye will deformation. I love you guys.
You should add an episode to the Bears Country Productions YouTube channel. Call it the THC formation. You just talk about food and weed all day.
First, he also made a homemade garlic sauce to go with it. It was banging. Who else we got in here?
Who is he banging?
We got Doug Van Dorn saying yesterday he fried a pre-made bacon cheeseburger patties with ground beef, bacon, and cheddar chews in it. Just charred them and ate them with salt. No bun. Was great.
That has to mean cheddar chunks, but yes.
Yeah. Cheddar chunks in it, yeah.
That was one of my more recent meals.
He says Scott's eggs and steak, onion, smashed taters or tats. Or
what's Scott? So what is Scottish eggs? Is that what makes that like Scott's eggs?
It's goat eggs.
Oh, Scot eggs?
No, goat eggs.
Oh, goats lay eggs?
I was waiting for the kitchen.
Motherfucker.
You're like, what? Goats lay eggs? I should have said rooster eggs. But okay, all right.
Charles, I always end up having to take a dump while watching you guys. Does that make it a shit show?
That needs to be put in the Hall of Fame, man. That's awesome. Doug Van Dorn says cheddar cheese chunks. Yes, say that 3 times fast.
Cheddar cheese chunks. Cheddar cheese chunks. Cheddar cheese chunks.
PJ, can you spell run 3 times fast?
Let me just be clear here. That would be a word I will never spell. So let me be clear.
All right. Well, you guys, seriously, we should just do like a cooking show one of these times. Just all hang out and we could do like a live cooking show. That'd be fun. In the off season, of course.
Hey, yeah. As a matter of fact, I want you guys in the chat. I want you guys in the chat to send an email to Bears Country Productions of a video of you fixing your famous dish, and we will show that video on air with your dish.
Or just some pictures of, individual steps.
Yes, you can do that too. So yeah, it'll be nice because we got some guys. I mean, I know Walt can throw down, and Cliff can throw down. So we got some guys who can really do their thing, and we want to show you guys pictures and put it on there. Give you guys some free advertisement just in case you're looking for a date or something. Go, hey, watch BCP. They show my recipe.
I can make you this.
Then they'll say PCP. I love PCP. Then you've got a situation on your hand.
Well, yeah, she loved PCP. Report her to the local police. Report her to the local police that she loves.
PJ,
PCP.
what's your number? You're the local police.
Yeah.
That I am no longer
911.
I am no longer identified.
Hi, I'd like to speak with PJ.
Trust me, that has happened before.
That's
that truly has happened before.
Scottish Bear says Scotch eggs are soft-boiled eggs wrapped in seasoned sausage meat, breaded and fried. Oh.
You're about to have Cliff put his meatloaf in the oven at this point. I think we got to wrap this episode up.
Good. That sounds delicious, Scottish Bear.
Tell you, we got some guys who can cook around here.
We have to start a GoFundMe for Scottish Bear to get here for a game so he can make that for us.
Doug Van Dorn, we understand you love PCP, but the name of this show is BCP.
Can you imagine if VHS just stopped watching you guys because he didn't understand that you weren't named BCP?
It's like, oh, I
That
thought
was
this
the
was
deal
a PCP
breaker?
show. I'm PCP right now.
He's just kidding. I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Ooh. Doing another seafood boil for my friend Cece's birthday next week.
Unfair. Unfair.
Any spaghetti to go with the seafood?
I'm actually thinking about doing fish and spaghetti.
Throw some spaghetti in your seafood boil. I'm sure everyone.
I gotta tell you guys. I can tell you what I made. What I made was some white rice and
God, that sounds delicious.
What lake did he catch this from? I forgot about this.
Especially because I added a little bit of butter to it and some little bit of sugar to it. So the rice by itself was good, but I had stir fry, and then in the stir fry, then put some teriyaki sauce. Then I incorporated some garlic, butter, marinated chicken breast cut in chunks, as well as shrimp. Then, after I put that with the teriyaki sauce in the stir fry, I put it on top of the bed of rice. Then I poured a little bit of sweet and orange chicken sauce on top of it.
The chair noise.
What was in the stir fry? Just like the medley.
Yeah, it was like a whole bunch of like carrots, broccoli, green beans.
Oh yeah,
some type of a dewy type bean or something like that. It was a whole bunch of different stuff. Corn? No corn. It was just
onions.
I don't do onions like that.
Oh, okay.
What's the professional term for the pea pods? Because I like those in stir fry.
The snow peas.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
those
are
are
snow
great in
peas.
stir fry.
It was just.
Yeah, no shit, Mayhem. I'm ready to go cook. Or Doug Van I'm ready to go.
We need to cook.
It was so good. A name that will remain nameless took the leftovers to my grandsons and let them have the rest of it. But I ain't gonna say who did it.
Foster.
Not your wife, right?
I'm not.
Foster.
My wife made these turkey tacos. With my direction, I said, make sure you put celery, carrots, onions, and green peppers in there. And she minced it all up and cooked all the ground turkey meat. And then she added like this really good salsa that we got from Costco. And she made this delicious, and cilantro. And then I have her take the corn tortilla and sear it on both sides, get a little bit crispy, and then at the end you throw some cheese on there, and then throw your meat in there, then put the cilantro and lettuce on top. I'm about to go have one of those.
Where
right
are
now.
you throwing your meat, sir?
Morning.
Where are you throwing your meat?
In the corn. In the tortilla.
That's what you call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Charles Johnson. You lost Charles Johnson at the sugar and the rice. I can understand why he did it though.
I'm telling you, you have to try it. I ain't saying a lot of sugar, trust me. Just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of sweetness to it. And then you have that other, because that teriyaki sauce makes it kind of a little bit sour. So then, you have
savory, you mean? Yeah, more savory.
Well, yeah. I mean, so you combine that, and then you put that orange sauce on top. Bruh. You know what? I'm gonna invite you guys over. I'm gonna invite you, all you guys in the chat. I'm gonna invite you over to Karl's house, and we're gonna have a good meal.
If I could get all three of us in my apartment, that'd be an accomplishment, in my opinion.
Over to Karl's house.
You're technically talking to 62 people. If you want to cook at my apartment for 62 people, you might have people pressed up against you while you're cooking, but that's fine.
Hey, like Charles Johnson says, hey, just make some frosted flakes.
I washed the sugar off my frosted flakes and add salt.
What a comment. Jesus Christ.
Charles is more of a savory than sugary guy.
You're getting Cliff all excited. You're getting him hot and bothered.
That would be great, Cliff.
At 12:45 on the Eastern Coast.
I'm just saying, I just,
Ooh, finally something useful here in the comments. Oh, I'm just kidding, guys.
I don't do a lot.
Fried Mars bars.
I don't do a lot of salt. I think I very seldom cook with salt. I don't put salt on my food either. Only time
that sounded like a very salty meal that you described with your stir fry, though.
I didn't add not one salt thing in there.
Sure.
Yeah, since I've known you, that's why you wanted the blackened seasoning, because it didn't have salt. So
blackened seasoning is great.
Yeah,
I don't like doing the salt. Sure. Now, onion powder, garlic powder, yeah,
but not raw onion, cook onion into it.
Only time I actually use onion to cook with is if I'm doing the Philly steaks. That's the only time I would actually do onions. Other than that, I don't do it.
I've been really getting into green onions.
Yeah,
you get you get the chive section of it, then you get that little bit of the white onion part, and you can kind of cook it in. It's a lot more mild.
Yeah, you know what I've been doing is actual minced garlic. I've been using more of that, but the thing with that, you gotta worry about you gotta be concerned with burning it when you're cooking it. So you gotta cook that quick. So yeah, I mean but no, the salt, no. To your point, when I do actually use salt, I use sea salt to sprinkle in my water when I'm gonna boil some noodles. I'll sprinkle a little bit of sea salt, some Italian seasoning in there.
Charles Johnson saying a little butter, black pepper, and holy voodoo is all you need. And
that's gotta be a hot sauce.
Holy voodoo, I think, is isn't that the Holy Trinity?
Oh, so definitely not hot sauce.
Where are you seeing holy voodoo at? I don't see no holy voodoo.
Right here, Charles Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Isn't the holy voodoo like the Holy Trinity? Some green peppers, onions, and celery or carrots? I don't remember. Or onions, maybe even.
No,
I'm starving right now.
Yeah.
I want water.
I was out in the sun all day, so I didn't really eat today.
I can tell by your suntan.
You're totally tan.
I would show you guys my tan because I actually did get a tan today, but that
Can you wear that hat in the sun all day?
This hat?
Any hat.
After a while, because of the sweat, I have to take it off.
Yeah, I can't wear a hat outside in the summer. Yeah. It's just too hot.
I have to.
That's why I like. That's why I like
practice today. So we was competing against other teams. So we were out there for 5 hours, and
that's. Oh yeah, that's brutal. And it's the same down here. Green peppers, celery onions. Thank you. That's what I thought. Holy Trinity, yes. That's why I prefer the visor in the summer. Only it's been ruined for me by
Mr. Matthew.
I won't mention his name.
I wear the bucket hat.
Matt Nagy.
And now
I'm not even going to get into that. I have zero thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wear bucket hats when I'm out there like that. I had my bucket hat on.
My bucket hat's my lucky hat right now. I caught a fish in it last week.
It's like the big sun visor hat.
Yeah, the thing go all the way around.
Oh yeah. I gotcha.
So yeah, that's what we when we're out there on the field, because turf brings up a lot of heat. When you're out there on turf, oh my goodness, it's rough out there.
Well, guys, let's wrap this up. It's going on 4 hours. How can you imagine we could have so much fun on a off night in the Bears season?
Well, that's when we actually have.
We have to say goodbye to right now.
That's when we actually have fun because we don't have to, worry about losing that week.
That's true. Yeah, we're still
live in La La Land and predict the Bears going to the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
By winning 4 playoff games on the road.
This is the best time. We're 0-0. What better time to do it?
Best time to do it, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
Eduardo, thank you so much. We want to thank all you guys in chat. I mean,
yes. And then, again, if you guys on X, leave a comment because I want to see the comments from X pop up. I mean, we had 2 earlier.
Yeah.
2 guys earlier, so I want to see more comments from X.
There's a chance that something messed up and they're at the top of the chat again. I never figured out what the actual root cause of that, but yes, again, I totally agree. The comments
on X you're talking about porn when you say that. I want to see comments from X.
No, we're talking about PCP.
Oh, not triple X. Gotcha. Okay.
No, it's triple R.
Anyways, guys, you guys are awesome. Thank you, all of you, for this was a presidential debate train wreck, whatever you want to call it tonight. We want to thank you all you guys for hanging out with us tonight when you had a lot better things to do, I'm sure.
Thigh and Smy podcast.
Who's that?
Creighton.
Mr. Mayhem.
Wilfong.
Creighton Wilfong, yes. Cliff Victoria. Eduardo.
VHS, a.k.a. DVD.
Charles Johnson. Bay. Fuck Green Bay. Oh, sorry, Doug Van Dorn.
Jason with the super chat again. Thank you very much, Jason.
Thank you, Jason. Also, Jason Toy, Mr. or Bear Me, a couple of newbies in here. Was it Geeky
Bear or something like that?
Yeah, Brewhaw slid by. I don't know if we had an official hello for Brewhaw.
Brewhaw, great to see you again.
King Buka World.
CB Sickles in the huddle. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Mr. Walt.
Charles Johnson.
Scottish Bear, man. Dude been hanging out every week with us until 5 o'clock in the morning plus. He must be like a
third shifter.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's at work.
Shout out to to Scottish. He got knocked out by my Germany, and now he's a big fan of Germany, apparently. Or at least anyone but England.
Yeah.
Mo Bierman made me laugh so hard today, too.
Mr. Mayhem, Mo Bierman.
Mayhem.
Steve Phillips. Geeky Bear was a new chatter.
New breed.
Leonidas.
Yeah, new breed.
Leonidas likes to argue, but we appreciate you coming in our chat. You're always welcome as long as you keep it civil. So appreciate you hanging out with us tonight.
Andrew from Twitter.
Andrew was on X.
Jay Grizz.
Bear Me.
Bear Claw was on X too.
Heck yeah.
So again, we truly appreciate each and every one of you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you. Hopefully we made your Thursday evening a little bit more enjoyable. And one of my favorite segments of the show is talking about the food there and seeing what you guys cook, and gives me certain ideas to try myself.
I'm gonna try that Scott's egg. That sounds delicious.
Jason Toy.
Eduardo Isaac Rodriguez. King Buka World.
Mr. Mayhem.
Yes. So yeah, guys, thank you guys all for hanging out with us. We enjoyed ourselves.
Alan Pena.
We still haven't decided on whether or not we're going to do a show next week or not. I know Shorty won't be here, but the rest of us haven't decided yet. As you see, we couldn't find Foster, so we got to find. We got to figure out something. And I don't know if you guys, town or city or where you live, have your fireworks, but we have our fireworks late on Thursday night, so the 4th. So I don't know what I'll be doing yet. Then I got a couple of more birthdays I have to deal with this week. Summer months are the rough months for me and birthdays. Like all my kids and grandkids are born in the summer. So busy times.
Cliff's saying, what are we going to do on Thursdays if you guys aren't here? I mean, watch some fireworks. It's 4th of July. Don't you guys watch fireworks anymore?
Well,
so I'm going to Coach B's lake house, and the neighbor does like a $25,000 fireworks display.
Jeez.
It goes on for an hour plus.
I have an idea.
We see who
Get
has
in the
money.
StreamYard, set up a laptop to look at the show, and leave it. Mute your mic. I'll handle everything. Just need your camera.
Okay, I can do that. You can watch the fireworks here with us.
Well, I'm on my way down. I'm on my way.
I actually have
Each car.
I came across
And you got the lanterns already.
Came across the fireworks display from last year when I was trying to delete things.
Oh no!
And let me
What
see.
did we get ourselves into here?
The show must go on, huh?
I might have an actual clip. Here we go.
Oh.
This is just,
what was that?
hold on. This is just a. Here we go.
Oh, yeah, the show.
Oh my god! Oh my. Charles Johnson.
A Scottish egg is a pregnant chick next door. This goes on for 4 minutes.
That's what I love about this chat. They come up with some of the best lines ever. That's pretty impressive for a homemade display.
That's very good, Charles Johnson.
PJ's referring to the fireworks display being very good, though.
Yes.
This goes on for an hour plus when we were there.
And it's someone privately doing this?
Right next door on the lake, yeah.
That's as good as the one they do for our city downtown.
You can see that right here. You can see like that's their where they put their boats right here, the boathouse.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's like a fucking grand finale for an hour plus.
Yeah.
Man.
So that's where I'll be.
In actuality, it's only 15 minutes, but he makes it seem like it's an hour.
No, it's literally. I counted it last year. It was over 45 minutes, so it's probably closer to an hour. But yeah.
Golly.
But so that's where I'm going to be next Thursday at 9:00 is watching this. So
I'm going to call him just to bug him and make sure he can enjoy the fireworks. Because him and I get on the phone. We stay on the phone for like 4 hours.
4 hours?
Okay.
That'd be a
6
record
hours.
For not being on the phone very long. I was talking to you one time on a weeknight. The sun's coming up. We're like little girls in high school talking to each other.
You're letting too much information out there, man. Just
another HIPAA violation.
Just too much information, bro. Come on, man. Keep certain things between us, man. Golly.
All right. I'm sorry. We have Jay Grizz saying, fuck Green Bay. I think it's the perfect way to end the show. So let's end this on a fuck Green Bay and then a Bears. Because we can't end it without it has to be ended with a Bears. So on a 1, 2, 3, fuck Green Bay, Bears. How about that?
I like it.
Like I want to say that.
You just say Bears. We're going to say fuck Green Bay together, and then you say Bears. All right, let's do it. Everyone in chat, I want to see your best FGB. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Shit,
fuck Green Bay.
Fuck Green Bay.
And Bears.
We're going to say Bears.
Bears.